You're listening to the Gamecasters.
Natalie, Jeff, and Ryan are the Gamecasters, and they do a board game show, inboxes, and nooks and games, and top 5 lists, and sometimes there's fart jokes.
Hey gamers, what's up? Did you miss us? You didn't? You were trying to click on the board game snobs and misclicked? Now the stop button won't work? The audio on your phone won't go down? You're stuck in Gamecasters purgatory for the next 3 hours? Now you're deciding whether or not to run your car off the side of the road or sing the song that never ends at the top of your lungs to drown us out? Certain death or the Gamecasters? I don't really blame you. We're kind of a lot to deal with. And man, the snobs are done in like a reasonable 45 minutes and just such a delight to listen to. But we're like watching a movie adaptation of a classic novel like Moby Dick, only the whale that it's about is in Jeff's pants, and the rest is just grunts and loud breathing for 2.5 hours while Natalie giggles. Now that I have a great deal of experience being in my 40s, the time for reflection has come, and as the great and highly respected philosopher Frank Reynolds once said, I don't know how many years on this earth I've got left. I'm going to get real weird with it. And if what you've all seen from me thus far hasn't been weird, I'm likely going to prison soon for what's about to happen. I'll start showing up to work meetings topless with like 2 slices of bread on either side of my face, or I'll buy a parrot and only show it porn. And so its only vocabulary is stuff like, take it, bitch.
Whoa.
And show me your pussy, show me your pussy.
Oh, my God.
That's pretty weird. Goodbye, threes. Yeah. Hello, fours. So, you guys, I shouldn't say you guys. Jeff, we took Cameron, my 10-year-old, to his first ever gaming convention last weekend.
So cool. All right.
It was awesome. We actually kind of talked about this a little bit before the show. We kind of just like briefly went over. Jeff asked this question that I wanted to kind of hit hard. And he said, was it different and fun for Cameron being there alone? So for those of you who don't know, I have 3 children. Cameron's the oldest, and then I have 2 girls, Lexi and Scarlett. And anybody that has multiple kids knows that they just act differently when they're alone versus when they're all together. And it's always a great time when we can connect with Cameron, as he's not as needy emotionally as the girls are. And so he doesn't vie for our attention like they do. Yeah, so as a result of that, he doesn't get as much of it. Mm-hmm. You know? Squeaky wheel and all that kind of stuff. So I was really excited to spend this time with him and share the hobby that Natalie and I love the most. He's the future of the Gamecasters after all. So we played so many games. He added 3 new games to his top 10. Do you remember what they were, Natalie?
Whoa.
Yeah, he's got a top 10.
Do you know what they also replaced? Are we?
Yeah.
He made only one of them.
He made a point to tell me the Samurai's out.
You're out.
But he also said it's only because they haven't played it.
He was like, we haven't played it in so long. Just want you to know. It fell off.
Dada.
Gone.
You're out.
Yep. You pooped. You got to
change it up. You're out. You got to change it up.
You pooped. You got to go.
Where's the expansion for the Samurai? It's getting stale. Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the expansion,
exactly.
Dad?
What have you done lately?
Yeah.
So the Samurai's gone. He also bumped out, what was it? 7 Wonders Architects, maybe.
Oh.
I think he did kind of say it. But no, do you remember what games, Natalie, were that he put on his list?
So this is ones he played at Grand Con.
We played them at Grand Con, and
he was like, I love this.
He was like, I want you to know this is my number 2 of all time.
Yeah,
I was like,
there was something he loved, and what the heck was it? Planet Unknown.
Planet Unknown. He played Planet Unknown. He was like, this is so good. He's like, it's my number 2. Immediately said that. Number 2, boom.
He also
Castles of Burgundy's holding it.
He was like, number 2. He put his hand on my shoulder, and he was like, I just want you to know. The Samurai is fucking gone.
Your shit's out.
That game sucks compared to this.
Yeah, it's not.
No, he didn't.
I was like,
Samurai's not only out of the top 10,
smacked me
it's now like 35.
Yeah, it's like
it slipped way down.
I'm going to burn it when we get home.
So that was one. What else?
That was one. Do you remember
I think he liked Red 7.
He did like Red 7.
I think because he won it, though.
He won. I don't think that's actually on his top 10. He was having a dreadful time.
Yeah.
And then he caught one good hand.
Game. It's hard to understand.
And we were like, we're going to stop here. And he had the most points. He was like, oh, this game's great.
Yeah.
This is going on my top 10.
Like, didn't you listen to the Nook about winning and your feelings about a game, Cameron?
Yeah.
Hello.
What was
the Castles of Between Two Castles of Mad King?
Oh, yes.
Number 3.
That play was good again.
It was so
good. We played that with Shelly and Lance, her husband.
So we saw, as Natalie's just kind of saying, we saw some people at Grand Con that we got to connect and hang out with. Mick was there with us the whole time, which was great to hang out with him because we didn't really get to spend much time with him at Gen Con. We got to hang out with Sam, Miss French Toast. She was there the entire time. We got to hang out with her because she's just kind of a hop, skip, and a jump away from
she was like
the convention
45
center.
minutes away.
And then, we got to see Michiana, Board Gamery, Shelly, her husband Lance, and they brought their daughter, and Franny, and it was a great time. We also got to see Mrs. Measles.
Yep,
Mrs. Measles, and she brought Zen. So we kind of had this big group pretty much the whole weekend.
That's cool.
It was
Yeah,
great. It was a great
really
time.
fun.
That's perfect for that convention.
Absolutely.
Right? Like to have
Yes.
your group of like, now we're going to play games, now we're going to do that. Because at Gen Con, when you have that big group like we did, we all
hard
just
to
split
stay
up.
together.
And then eventually,
Right.
not that we were actively avoiding Dave Mick, but like,
No.
we never saw, we didn't see him.
We
too
just
much.
never saw him.
Right, this is just so much smaller. It's just one
You're just sitting
giant
at a
room
table
full
playing
of
games.
tables. You know, like comparing to Gen Con where there's like 1,000 vendors. This one had maybe like 20. You know what I mean? But I think, yeah, I mean, it's so fun in such a different way because, like you said, you just have this group and you plop down, find a spot, and you just play a bunch of games.
Plop it.
all
And some
weekend.
really cool things happened while we were there during the convention that I think are going to end up being core memories for Cameron.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
I've seen Inside.
You've seen Inside Out. You're right,
Inside
exactly.
Out, yeah.
So one, we got to play this game by Smirk and Dagger. You've probably heard of it, Jeff. It's been out for a long time. It's called Tower of Madness.
Yep, it's got the Cthulhu arm sticking out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Like that
if you know
Kerplunk
Yeah, it's like
thing.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Kerplunk, right? So at their booth, and they've been doing this for years. They have this giant tower.
Okay.
Right, and it's kind of a prop at this point, just to draw people to their booth, because because they weren't selling copies of Tower of Madness here. I don't know that it's even in print anymore. I'm not sure. And so Cameron was, his eyes were drawn to it. Like, what is that? Can I interact with that? And so we walked over, and I was like, "Hey, is there a game here at the booth that we can play so you can like have us interact with this?" And he was like, "No, but the gaming library has a copy of Tower of Madness, and we're telling people if they check out Tower of Madness and play it over by our booth, instead of interacting with the little tower of the Cthulhu arms in the game, you can use this."
You just, like,
Okay,
walk
so you have to
whenever
go
you
there,
have to draw
check it
to
out,
it.
and then bring and
Go
do
there,
everything.
check it out,
Yeah.
sit in front of their booth, and
There's
then
like a table
fine.
that was right next to their booth.
And so Cameron kind of looked at me like, "Can we fucking
We're doing
do that?"
this. Yeah.
And
No,
I was
he didn't
like-
say, he didn't say, "Can we?" We're doing this.
Well, he said, "Can we?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Well, we're doing it." And I was like, "Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
I
sure, whatever you
guess
say,
okay.
whatever, anything
Yes,
you say,
sir.
yes, sir,
Yeah.
whatever. How many?
Okay.
Should I buy you some Pokemon
Yes.
cards too?" So we go check out Tower of Madness. We come back down, and we sit in front of their booth, and they come over and teach it to us, which was awesome. And the guy did a great job teaching.
Yeah,
he was very animated, very excitable, and it was awesome.
He
It kind of
helped
pissed
us,
me
like,
off because he
through
was
the
just like
whole
me, and
play.
I was like, "There can only be one of
Oh
us.
my
And can you go away?"
So
and
now he's dead.
Yeah. So
once the
fucking
teacher's over,
guy's
he's
gone.
dead. Yeah.
So he teaches us. We start to play, and I was being overtly animated. I'm always animated as it is, but I was being like overtly animated for Cameron's behalf to
course.
make him like, "This is so fun."
Yeah.
So I would go over to the thing to pull out tentacles from, and I'm doing a dance beforehand, and like just
Yeah.
being all crazy, and Cameron's laughing like a seal, like And so he gets to go to it and pull stuff out, and you get to see these giant foam marbles come down, and it was so much fun. And you could tell he was just like, "Where else would I do something like this?
right,
Like,
and
this
he's
is
doing
so
this
great."
Like the other thing, was he was basically playing all these games all weekend with a bunch of grown-ups, and so
Yeah,
I think
there was-
he
He got
felt
to be one of you.
right.
Yeah.
I think he felt
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like grown up and like cool, and like we're having fun doing this thing with him too, and he's having fun. And, yeah.
So we're playing, and in the middle of the game, the head of Grand Con is walking around the convention hall, and we just kind of saw him. I was like, "Oh, that's the guy that runs Grand Con," and it's like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And so we're sitting there, and he comes up to our table, kind of like watching what we're doing, playing Tower of Madness. He's got a bag with him, and he's kind of like looking at Cameron and looking at all of us, and also he pulls a game out of the bag, and the game's called Imagineers, and it's in Shrink, and he's like right behind Cameron, so Cameron doesn't even see him. Cameron's like playing the game, and all of a sudden this guy right in front
hand
of
over
Cameron's
Cameron's
face,
eyes? No.
basically blindfolding Cameron with
Yeah.
this game, and he's like, "This is for you, little boy."
Hello. There's candy over here too.
This game's called Windowless Van. So he puts the game in front of
Escape from windowless van. Can you escape my windowless van?
Also, I'm dressed like a clown. So he puts the game in front of Cameron, and he's like, "Here, this is for you." And Cameron is kind of dumbfounded. He's like,
He's like,
what is
"What's
happening? Like,
happening?"
there's
Yeah.
a game in front of my face. And he doesn't, he told us the whole time, he's like, "I kind of felt like, not invisible, but he's like, I felt like everyone was here for you." Mm-hmm. And so he's like, I didn't react because I thought he was giving this to you.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting right across from him. And the guy was kind of looking at me behind Cameron. And so I'm looking at Cameron like, "Oh, wow, he's giving you a game." And he's like, "What?" And he like turns up and to look at the guy, and the guy hands it to him. And he's like, "We love seeing children introduced to the hobby."
In a normal
convention.
voice.
Yeah, in a normal voice. Right. He wasn't touching himself.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We love seeing
Just to be
children.
clear, he definitely was being
I love seeing them.
normal.
Especially up close, not with my
Are you
binoculars.
gonna walk to your hotel room by yourself later? I have something else to get. So, God, no. Okay, this guy was so great. He was great.
This guy-
Damn
Oh,
it!
man.
Son
Don't
of a
send this
bitch.
episode
Yeah,
to him.
never. I'm not going to show him this. So Cameron was so excited at that point. Like
Yeah.
he was like, it went from like, what is happening to oh my God, you're giving me a game.
Yeah, that's
and I
cool.
kept telling it. I told him throughout the time we were there. I'm like, that's the head of the convention. He put this convention on,
this
and
is
so
all
Cameron
him.
was like, wow, like he's right there.
That's
we
cool.
See him.
He's a guy. He's
and
a
so
thing.
then the guy that's running the game for us, was still there running it for us, the guy from Smirk and Dagger, and he's like, you know what? So the guy from Grand Con eventually walked away. We were like all smiles and happy, and I have tears streamed down my face because I'm just a blathering idiot when something like that happens. I'm like so happy. And so the guy that's running the game, he's like, there's something even a little better. He's like, that game he just gave you, the designer is sitting right over there.
That's cool.
And I was like, seriously? And he's like, yeah. He's like, pop the shrink off, take your son over there, and he'll sign it for you. And we did. And again,
cool.
Cameron was like, Natalie, explain what he was like. I can't even like
Natalie.
put together a cogent simile to explain what he was doing.
You mean when he was getting the
Yeah,
thing
like
signed?
like his mood and his feelings, as it was happening.
He was so the one thing about Cameron is he's generally pretty quiet, but when that boy is excited about something because he doesn't
boy.
stop talking. And so like this was like one of those
excited.
things where he just was like a chatterbox like right after that, and you were
Yeah.
like, oh, he's pumped about
He must have said
this.
30 times, like, I can't believe I got a game from the
Yeah.
person who runs Grand Con, and I
And-
got it signed.
yeah, that's
and look,
cool.
he wrote my name because the guy wrote his name. He's like, what's your name?
Yeah, he
And so
wrote a little
Cameron, like, I
message.
hope you have fun at the convention.
That's cool.
Always keep gaming or something like that. Fuck you, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Right. And so Cameron was
to
just
my
like,
van.
yeah. So Cameron was like, yeah, P.S. You'll never escape. So he was so excited. It was the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
him.
That's
You know
very
what I
cool.
mean?
I mean, and yeah, that'd be exciting for us, but
Yeah.
let alone him at his first convention. This is all brand new.
It's all downhill from here.
Well, yeah. Did we not tell a story about Gen Con when we were there and the guy that made old wallpaper and medium? That's like
Exactly.
the same.
Right.
Right. How excited we're just
Right,
we
we're
as-
we.
We're fucking adults.
Right.
We're adults, and we met
Right.
someone who designed a board game.
Yeah.
and we're like, ooh, yeah.
Wow.
And like he's seeing it kind of through his eyes is probably even cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he
and
was- he
even
felt like a
he
celebrity.
even mentioned kind of like because like we have a million games in the basement, and obviously like we all play them, but like in their head those are dad's
they're mine.
games,
Right.
and so like Ryan
It's his game.
or so
It says my name
Cameron
on it. Don't play this.
So Cameron even said like he's like this is my first like game that's mine.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right.
You should get him like you should. I don't know. You have
I was
a
like,
lot
we'll
of
take it
shelf
home.
space,
I'll have
but-
Hobbs pee on it, and so
Yeah.
then no one else can play it.
My
And it'll be his
God.
game.
It's yours now. Yeah.
He beat. No, Hobbs has a decent collection.
He does.
Hobbs got Twantan Suyu. He's got some.
He
games.
does, man. He's got the initiative.
he's
Yeah,
pissed.
I know. He has role player adventures. For
Oh, damn, good for him.
God,
He's got
I
a solid
know.
collection.
He does. It's
Way
going
to start
good.
off.
Dang it, Hobbs. So that was so we had a great time. I'll explain a little bit more about a particular game we played when we talk about the games we have been playing. But I wanted to bring up one thing. Mick would kill me if I didn't mention this on the show. So we played the Guild of Merchant Explorers.
Okay,
There.
sweet.
God damn it, that game is so good.
So
Part of
good.
me plays it, and I'm like, I'm not angry that it's good, but I'm like, damn, this game is good. I'm like,
Yes.
I'm like, why is it good?
Yeah.
And then I played. I'm like, it's good.
Why is it so
I
fucking
know.
good? It's so good. I want to be playing it always. So listen to this, dude. We played it 4 players with Cameron, right, on Sunday morning, which was like the day. Right,
was
we
the
played
last
that
thing
and then
we
we
played,
left,
yeah.
basically.
Okay.
And so we're playing, and I was having the game of my life.
You're rolling.
I've played 3 times now. The
Okay.
first 2
Yeah, I played
times,
three,
I won,
4
I think,
times.
by a considerable margin. And so
Okay.
I'm like, this is a game I get.
Do you remember what, like, your point total was? Do you remember?
In the first play, so the very first play,
You got
it's a misnomer.
stopped or
We got
something, right?
stopped.
Yeah.
I was at
Yeah.
about 100,
okay.
and we were not through it.
Okay.
Okay, and then the second game we played with Sam on
You had like
TTS.
130.
Okay.
I had like
or
130.
All right.
And
I
that,
had, like-
that won by like 30 points.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
I think you had
was-
99
Yeah,
or something.
99.
All right. Yeah, my plays we've been between like 130 and 150. It's been like the
So this third game, I'm like, dude, I was like almost feeling bad. I was like, I am
crushing these
getting
idiots.
so many points. I feel like I'm cheating. That's
Yeah.
how I felt. I was like, I'm just getting so many points.
Yeah, because
every
you play
round.
that game like it's not. Sorry to interrupt you, but like you're like, oh, I get 6 points here, I get 9 points here, I get 8 points here, and you're like, boom, boom, boom. You do all this stuff, and you're like, did you guys not take any points? This
Yeah.
time? But then they do it on their next.
They do it on the
turn,
next
right?
turn.
But yeah.
So I wasn't paying as much attention about what they were doing. It felt like I was obliterating the world. So we get to the end of the game, and Dave Mick has this fucking smug ass look on his face as he flips his chips over, and he's got 151 points.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was crushing it. I flip over my points, 151 points.
Whoa.
Natalie is totaling up her points, 151 points. The three of us tied with 151 points.
Yeah.
So listen to this. I had 151 points, Jeff. I got third. I lost
Because of the tiebreaker.
because the tiebreaker is having the most of those towers.
Okay, in the
I had
corners.
2. They
Okay.
both had 3. So the first tiebreaker, they tie still.
Yeah.
The second tiebreaker is having the most villages, which are the
Okay.
little things.
Yep.
And
Dave
Dave
beat
had
Natalie
most.
by 1. And so he wins
On
the
a double tiebreaker.
really a triple.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah, triple. Like 3 of us tied. It was crazy.
I agree with you though. I felt the same way where I was like, I felt like it was almost, I was getting so many points.
Yeah,
I was
like,
like, what
this
is
doesn't seem
happening?
fair.
You left
Yeah,
your
it doesn't
points
seem
face down.
fair.
I guess
Yeah.
it didn't.
We didn't keep
We
them face
didn't.
down.
No, we did. At first, we didn't. And then after a while, I was like, I don't think I want.
Oh, I
people to
kept
know
mine
what I
face
have.
up.
Yeah. I keep it's much easier. That
Yeah.
point thing is the exchanging points is
So-
is to my opinion the only problem with that game.
We kept
Yeah,
exchanging the whole game. It sucks.
Yeah.
But me and Dave only had 3 tokens at the end. 4 tokens. We had 3
Right, yeah,
50s and a 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
You know what I mean? But it
I
was
saw that
crazy
Ben and M
cool.
played with like some chips, poker chip.
Yeah, poker
things.
chip.
Oh
People are
yeah,
trying to replace.
Yeah,
some
I
things.
mean, if we play here, we're not going to play with those things.
Yeah,
I didn't even punch them
yeah,
out.
we didn't have.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
tried.
we're
a new
playing
map
with something else.
recently. My last play, I tried like the back side of a map. I tried just a different map.
Butt side.
Yeah, the butt side.
Was it good?
The back front.
Yeah, it
or
was-
back,
Yeah.
the
was it
bottom.
different?
Yeah,
I'm back.
yeah.
Yeah, it felt different enough where it was like, okay, there was a lot more kind of like 2 land territories, which makes it
Okay.
actually harder to like spread out.
Right,
Yeah.
but easier to complete and get
Yeah,
villages
so
out.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting. Well, that's cool. So that was Grand Con.
Yeah, that was
it was
fun.
a blast. We had so much fun with Shelly and Lance and Franny, Mrs. Measles,
Yeah.
Mick, Dave, Mick, Sam, of course, and Cameron had a blast, dude.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so it was fun. What are you guys up to? What have you been doing?
All right, I'm watching a show I want to talk about really quick.
Okay.
We're 3 episodes in because there's only 3 episodes out. It's on Hulu. It might be on might be FX, might be the channel that runs it, but I don't know if
think
it's
I-
on FX on
think I know
cable
what
or
you're gonna
not.
say.
But it's called The Patient.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you were just
I told
telling
you
me.
about
You were
it
just telling me
yesterday.
about this.
And I just told you
that.
So it's Steve Carell is the main person in there.
Oh, really?
And
It's not him. No way.
yeah, Steve Carell looks like
It's like John Malkovich.
yeah, he's got like full beard, but he's aged well.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
he's
he did
he's getting
age
into his age, right? He's not trying to look like he
A
did
young
back.
guy, yeah.
So he's a therapist, psychiatrist, one or the other, and he in the first 2 minutes of the show, he basically wakes up like chained to a bed in a basement,
Oh,
and then the story starts to evolve from there. So I don't want to do any spoilers or anything.
it's misery.
But the cool thing about the show is it's like
It's a good book.
23 minutes. Each episode
Oh,
have been
it's
like
really quick.
like cable 30-minute shows where they have 8
Yeah,
minutes of
commercials. Yeah.
So it is quick and things are just happening, right? There's not a lot of like extra stuff, so things just keep happening. But so far it's like good. I'm watching.
Is it like a mystery thriller?
Yes. Yeah.
That's
So
like my
you-
favorite genre.
So you try to kind of figure out,
I know.
why is he down there?
Yeah.
Like what's going on, like, and then it kind of flashes back to his family a little bit and some of his other like therapy sessions. So it sort of evolves from there of like what's going to happen next, right?
Yeah.
A little bit, not like thriller in terms of scary. It's not scary. There's not like jump scares.
more
or
Michael
anything like
Jackson
that.
thriller.
Yeah, but it's almost
More
you
just
just
like,
want to know
yeah,
what happened.
like
There's a lot of
something
people walking.
weird
There's a lot of,
happening.
Okay.
that's the song.
Yeah, that's thriller.
I know Thriller.
Yeah.
You're pretty
That's really what we're watching. We're also watching the.
I'm older than Jeff.
young. Okay, I was waiting for her to be like, I'm older than Jeff.
Well, Jeff's short and he's too young. And
He's
and
too
he's
young.
ugly and
He's
stupid.
too young.
So I don't know.
His penis is too big.
Yeah, ew. We're watching the HBO puts on this show all the time called Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
and
the Lions,
The
right.
Hard Knocks is now focusing on the Detroit Lions, and us being from
Man, I haven't
Michigan,
watched that.
it's kind of cool to see
Yeah.
some of that. So we've been really interested in watching it, and it's happening like borderline live.
Wow.
Like when an episode comes out, that stuff just happened like that week.
Oh,
and they've
that's
edited it and
crazy.
put it
How
out,
do
which
they
is
do
kind
that?
of cool. I don't know. It's awesome.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's fun, but I also think it's fun because I'm a Lions fan.
Yeah.
Right.
For how sad
Right.
that sounds. We're like Lions fans.
We can't not be. I've tried. You can't.
Yeah,
It doesn't
you just
work.
go, all right, and then this is also the time of the year before the season actually starts when we realize how terrible we are. That we have like some sort of like
Problem?
hope. Yes, we can
Oh.
do this.
This year. This is the year.
Yeah, this is the year we
well,
can do
for
it.
us, we're like, we can win 6 games.
Yeah, come on, let's
That's
try to
it.
make the playoff.
Right. Both teams happy
Never
with
gonna
3.5 yard
yeah,
games.
Exactly. So that's kind of what we're doing. School just started back up. So we are, the last 2 weeks have been Devin's first week of school. I had PD. And then last week was my first week of school. So Devin and I like didn't have a game night the last couple weeks. We've just been like,
Ouch.
Yeah.
it's just tiring, right?
Getting
It's
into-
tiring getting back into the swing of things.
Right. You get all the time to yourself, and then suddenly back to that.
And then it's
schedule.
like, yep, we're going to work, picking up our kids, coming back, and then it's all of a sudden it's 8 o'clock and it's bedtime, and we're like, it's our bedtime.
There's some
shit.
points of time where I'm jealous of you because you get a summer vacation.
Yeah.
And then the transition period, I am so happy I'm not a teacher.
Yeah.
Because you go from like, I'm on vacation to all of a sudden like back into the
Yeah, there
you
is
don't get to
no-
like when I'm in an office job. So when I come back from vacation, I'm still just at my desk thumbing through my old emails.
Yeah.
And that's stressful to me. But it's not like I have to be on for 30 kids 6 times a day.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and then I get like
And there's-
20 seconds to eat lunch and I still got to like
And all the timing is very not flexible. Like he has to be there,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
yeah,
on
yeah.
time for
Right.
school and
Right.
all, you know.
Exactly.
There's no strolling into work a little late.
Right.
There's no hanging out by the water cooler
Yeah.
for 30
Exactly.
minutes
Yeah.
before. It's
Yeah,
like,
so it's that
when
part
the bell
where it's
rings,
like,
kids are
I
there.
don't
I'm working.
Yeah.
envy you. I'm not
Right.
jealous of you in that time. It's
yeah, the
more
last
like,
two
But you
ones
do
were
get a
nice.
lot of vacation time.
Yep.
well, so that's the trade-off, I guess. You have when
Right,
you're
exactly.
on, you're on, and then you finally
Yeah.
get a break,
Right,
and
then
it's
you
over,
get a
and then it's like,
decent break.
It's like a roller
to-
coaster.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think we're both excited to get back. This is kind of the first year since COVID that's felt a lot of our kids are maskless, so I get to see
So
like
it's normal.
all of my
Kind of more
students'
normal,
face, which
yeah.
is kind of cool. We're getting back to doing things like our dances and our pep rallies and stuff like that's fun for school. Our groups
Yeah.
can now meet again, all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited for sort of a fresh start that way, and yeah, not looking forward to all the tiredness. I'm going to try to get Devin to play a game with me this upcoming week because we're on the maybe we'll feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah, right.
Won't
You have to
fall
like get
asleep at
back into the
table.
swing of what the
tiredness
cadence
is
like.
and-
Yeah, right.
Right. Or at
So
least
it's
like a
gonna take
light,
while.
short game or something, maybe.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about what happened yesterday?
Yes, actually, good call. So, Natalie has been planning for me I don't want to call it a milestone birthday, but it was.
Which was not a surprise party.
It wasn't a surprise party. Jeff thought it was a surprise party. So I had a party. No. So I have transitioned, as we talk about transitions, from my 3s to my 4s. I'm in my 4s now.
You did it.
I mean, I did it. Yeah. I can
Happy
I can again say I'm in my
birthday.
early somethings.
Yeah, your
for the
early
last like few
somethings.
years, I'm like, I'm in my
Late.
late 3s. I'm in my
Not
early
early.
4s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's better?
The earliest you
hooray.
can be in your 4s, in fact.
Yeah, the earliest I could be in my 4s. Yeah, the day 1 now. Or day 2, I guess it is.
Yeah.
So, I turned 40. As of the day of this recording, yesterday. So it's the 11th today. I turned 40 on the 10th. And Natalie planned a day for me where I could just kind of do my favorite stuff I love doing, which is hanging out with my friends playing a game that I love. And then I got to, after that happened, another buddy came over. We just played guitar and jammed all night long. And it was, both of them were as fun as it could be.
It made
And
you feel like
so-
you were in your late 30s again.
in the throes of my late 3s.
Yeah.
So we played Cosmic Encounter, which is one of my favorite games to play
Yeah.
with the group of friends that we get to play with. I love playing that with Jeff and Dave, and we haven't
It's so
played it
fun.
we haven't
It's
played
been
it in
a
a while.
long
It's been like 3 years since
It was
the last time
it was
we
my
played it.
first logged play on Board Game Week, and I didn't start logging them
Wow.
until 2019.
Yeah,
so it's been at least before.
So 29.
2019.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
So it was. I think the last time I looked, we played it late last year with Mr. Measles and Mick Dave.
Right.
Mick.
Yeah.
But before that, it was 3 years before that
Yeah.
I'd played it, and so. Every time I've played it I have 20 logged plays now of Cosmic
wow.
Encounter, and I played with Jeff and Dave a handful of those.
Yeah.
And every one of them has been hilarious.
So fun.
This honestly was maybe the most fun because of how I was in a constant state of laughter because of Jeff and Jeff's
It was really fun.
Jeff's alien power. So if you don't know Cosmic Encounter, you should. We've talked about it on the show a number of times. But basically, what it is you are. I hate when people call it Munchkin in space, but God damn it, they're right. That's kind of what it is. Fucking fuck.
Munchkin sucks.
It's the first person to get to, or people to get to, and establish 5 colonies, 5 different colonies, or basically you can think about it as 5 points. Once you get 5 of those, you establish colonies in other people's home systems. You win. And the way the game works is at the very beginning of everybody's turn, you flip a card over and it tells you who you're going to attack. Okay, essentially. So if I'm the black player, I'm attacking, and flip it over as I'm attacking the yellow player. That means I'm fighting with Jeff. I then get to send some ships to fight with Jeff on. He has ships he's defending with, and that equals our strength. And then we both get to ask the people around the table for help. And that's where the game starts to come alive, where everybody's playing, potentially, on everyone else's turn, unless you're Natalie. And we start playing, and then you play cards from your hand. And the cards has a number on it, and then you add that number to the total number of ships on your side, and then whoever has the higher number wins. But the way the game becomes incredible is with these powers, these game-breaking, chaotic, and ridiculous. It's the most nonsensical, imbalanced crap, crazy luck fest that happens in this game. And if you are playing... I hate saying, like, you have to have the right group, but if you are playing with the wrong group, this game will fall flat on its face.
Yeah.
If you play with people who are going in expecting... crazy, chaotic, hilarity nonsense, then it's awesome. And it was awesome. Jeff had this power, and it's funny because Natalie and I are in the insurance industry, and Jeff's alien power was named Lloyd, and Lloyd's of London is an insurer, right? His name was Lloyd, and he was an insurance alien. Jeff, talk about what his power
I was
could
insurance.
do.
I could extend the game as long as I really wanted to. So in this game, you do things like play cards and then you discard them. You play ships. Your ships could get destroyed and go to the warp. You can get them back. You could lose your alien power. Things get lost and sometimes forever lost in this game, except when Lloyd plays. Lloyd could insure all of those things. So I could say, Ryan, you're attacking Natalie. You're taking 3 ships over there.
Yeah.
Those ships are pretty nice.
They are. I want to keep them.
What if they get dinged up? What if they get broken? I
could.
can insure those for you.
Really?
So if Ryan says, yeah, I would like those ships insured, he would get those ships back at the end of the encounter no matter what. I insured them for him.
Yeah.
If they were damaged, I'd fix them. We'd cover them. It's part of the policy.
That's right.
Okay? So he'd get his ships back, and I would get this little token. It's just a measly little token.
Just one little dumb token.
One little token I could then use to get reward cards, which were like these kind of could be super awesome, powerful cards.
Super powerful things.
So every turn, and I could insure Ryan's each individual card.
Anything at any time.
I could do at any time. Before they go away, I go, oh, you want that insurance? You want that? And that's what I did the entire game, was just ask people constantly if they wanted insurance.
And it's one, he's getting
And we
one
took it,
little
and we
dollar.
used
It's
it
not
a
a
lot
big
because it's
deal.
good for us too.
It's really good for us, but it turns out it's also really good for Jeff. And so at first we're like insuring everything. Jeff's asking everybody. He's
it was just rolling
playing
at the
it perfectly. He's a salesmaning everybody, and we're all like, yeah. I don't want to lose this
why would I?
strength 39 card
Right.
with a ×2 multiplier. Yeah, insure
sure,
both those
okay,
cards.
yeah.
Take 2 tokens. That's fine. So then eventually Jeff's got this giant pile of tokens that when it's his turn, he's like, you know what? I'm going to cash all these in and draw 15 cards. And now, okay, come attack me. And now he could just like waltz in. And so it was working. And Jeff and me both were just kind of like going up the
We
track.
got 3 pretty quick.
Yeah, we both got the 3 like really fast. And it was such a great play because that power was so funny. Everyone was having a great time interacting with Jeff's power.
Dave
his
Madigan's
brother,
power
Donkey
was
Kong,
really
had
funny.
another power that was so good where so this game is all about alliances. Jeff's turn, he's fighting Natalie, and Jeff's like, I want help from you guys to help me attack Natalie so I can establish a colony. And then Natalie's like, no, I want you guys to help me. So if Jeff doesn't get that point, and we all get these rewards. And so everyone has a decision to make. Who am I going to help if I'm going to help anybody? So they send ships there. So Dave's power was he could just make somebody switch sides. So he could, if he was like, okay, I'm going to ally with Jeff because I want colonies. And Kevin and Dave are like, well, we want to ally with Natalie for the defense. Dave can be like, no.
No, one of you don't.
One of you is coming back over
here. And then the other person goes, all right, I guess I'm on that side now.
And it was so hilarious because he used it almost I think he used it every single turn.
Yeah, it was
because he was always involved in pretty much every situation. And so he must have had this feeling of power
Yes.
You know, like I can make this encounter go the way I want it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he could also just send somebody to the other side.
And
I
so-
don't like you on that side.
Right.
You can go.
Yeah.
Go on the other side.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
And he had this other weird power that he could do where if he only sent one ship, he could like remove ships down to one, or if he sent four and somebody sent one, he could make them bring up to four. And so you could tell he was having a lot of fun, and that was working for him, and he got up to a lot of points as well. Kevin didn't get to use his power very much at all because he just didn't. His cards didn't come out.
the Grumpus.
But he was also involved in like every single encounter, and so his points got up.
Everybody
really
had
fast.
4 points.
Yeah, we all had 4 points except poor Natalie, and
Poor
everybody.
Natalie. Let's talk. Natalie had a card. Her power was a different winning condition.
yes,
So Natalie might say, like, yes, she had 1 point on the board, maybe 2. But you were closer than you thought, although it did suck not, like...
once we realized it,
When we realized, like, oh,
We
shit,
just
Natalie's
stopped
going to
you
win. Natalie could
completely.
win next turn.
I could have won easily, except that also, if everybody paid attention, which they did, they could have completely stopped me from
and we
winning
did,
and not
and
let me.
that's where the game starts to
Yeah.
feel like
And I had
Munchkin
no-
at
Yeah, it's just a
times.
leader. It's a
Yeah.
leader crushing.
bash
and
the
also,
leader.
like on
Right.
the last thing, you could have invited everyone to stop Ryan from winning, and then the game would have went on, and then it would have just been like, who's going to have the right card to beat everybody else at the table at the exact moment?
Yeah.
That's what it
Yep.
comes down to. Or you negotiate, and again, it just becomes silly anyway. But
Yeah.
Yep,
So I hope
had
you didn't have a terrible experience as we were all.
I was
like,
telling
really
him
close.
it was fun. It was fun at first because I was like, kind of like, this might
You were,
work
like, snake in
out.
the grass. You're
And
like,
then all of a sudden it just stopped. Everyone was like, stopped inviting me to
Yeah.
be their
And that became
ally.
kinda like-
that
Yeah.
became kind
Because
of
I would have
mimetic.
won, and then so then I wasn't like participating in
pretty
the second
strong-
half of the game.
At least Measles, like his power, he wasn't using, but at least he was in the fight.
He was
right?
involved, and he was up to
Right,
4.
yeah.
And even if you had invited everybody, I mean, I had 39 times 2 at the end.
Oh yeah,
had,
even
like,
if I invited everybody,
72.
you still would have won.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't, and there was that one situation where we found out maybe you could have turned the tides if the cards came out right, and they didn't anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like it's very lucky.
There's
The
still
game is
risk
luck.
to
It's
it,
one of those
yeah.
games, almost like Lords of Vegas, where it's like you can't be like, okay, I'm the best player. It's just kind of it might
Whatever
go your
happens,
way.
happens,
It probably
yeah.
won't,
Yeah.
but it might. And it was such a fantastic play. Everyone was laughing the whole time. We were all having a great time. And I loved that. And so then, after that happened, my buddy Chris came over and we just played guitar all night long. And it
then
was the best 40th
we had
birthday I've ever had.
Sushi for lunch, barbecue for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
We had like 4 different desserts.
Yeah,
like
you gotta eat some
all
cake.
right on your
You gotta eat
diet.
some cake
all
before
right,
you go.
The diet
Yep.
plan.
Yep.
All on
We
the
ate so
diet.
much
weekend.
cake.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta have some cake. I don't think you had the gooey butter cake that Dave brought.
Oh, no.
Dude,
I'll
it's
have some.
fucking incredible. You're gonna have some.
Pack it
soon.
up.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. It was
So
delicious.
that was yesterday. It was a great time. I loved having all my friends here and hanging out. Thank you, Natalie, for setting it all up. It was amazing. It was amazing.
You're welcome.
We don't only have parties and
Eat cake.
eat cake. We also play
Oh.
board games.
That's right.
Jeff, have you been playing any games?
Yep. I want to tell you that last week, no, maybe 2 weeks ago, Monday was my pick for game night.
Okay.
Dave was out. He was like, I'm out. Okay.
Yep.
So it was me, Bill, and Joe.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that
3
means I could
players.
probably get big, heavy Euro game to the
Yeah,
table.
right.
Because sometimes
You
Dave's
got
like,
time.
big, heavy Euro game, no thanks.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I picked Bitoku. And played
Oh,
it.
right.
The game's so good.
It was just as good this
Yeah,
time.
I loved it. It was so good.
Really?
It was, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. It's like,
Dang it, we got to get that back from Ben and Emily.
yeah, solidified in my, I think it's top 10, but it's very good. So anyway,
Wait, so it was in your top 10 before?
yeah, since my new ratings that I
Right.
did at the end, the middle of the
But
year.
now it's like that.
It's still
for
there.
Think
sure.
it,
Still
do you
there.
think it moved?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
think it's there.
It's-
The other ones to pass it are big ones.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
I don't know if Arnak's in front of it, so that could flip flop, but
It's close.
I feel like 1, 2, 3, and 4 are solid, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 are all kind of
Ben, play Bitoku.
yeah.
You might love it. If you love it, keep it for a little longer. But if not, I'm starting to get the itch.
Yeah,
I kind of want it back.
Give it back.
Yeah, kind of.
Give it back.
Give me
Get in my van.
Give me it. Get in my van. You want to play Bitoku? It's in my van.
It's in my van.
So another game that I've played a couple times is a game by Pandasaurus called Skate Summer.
Damn it! This was on my Gen Con list and I didn't get it.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we've all played, and maybe not we've all. Natalie, have you played Tony Hawk Pro Skater? On
It's a video game. PlayStation
Oh,
2.
no.
You've never played it?
Okay.
No.
It is one of my favorite video games of all time.
It's a great game, partly because of the music.
Yeah, that music has been stuck in my head for a decade of my teenage years.
Yeah.
It was just nonstop because it was on PlayStation, then it was on PlayStation 2. And it's basically, Natalie, what you do is for the most part, there's a timer. It's 5 minutes. And you just skate around, whether it's a city or a skate park, and you just do tricks. and it just gives you points for all these tricks you do over and over again. And then there's like punk music kind of playing.
Goldfinger.
Yeah, it's just like punk music playing in the background, and you just skate over and over again. And then like a lot of times it's like button mashing. Like you kind of know what you're doing, but you're up in the air and you're like, oh yeah, if I do this, and
you pull off this crazy thing, and you're like, I did that on purpose.
You're like, boom,
I did that on purpose. And every time you fail, you're like, it didn't go the way I wanted it to.
Yeah. Oh, so close.
It's never your fault when you fail, and it's always the greatest. You were always trying to do it when you pull off.
So I've logged like this is pre like understanding. Like you can go online right now, and if you're playing PlayStation 5 or something, you can like see how long you've played a game. This is before that. I bet I have a massive amount of hours. This is probably one of the top games of hours that I've logged
back
playing
then,
this game.
the actual game would have had to have had a counter.
Right. So anyway, this gives you Skate Summer gives you the Tony Hawk Pro Skater
Really?
vibe a little bit. The art is cool. It's got that like graffiti sort of artwork.
Yeah.
Designed by this guy Randy Raymond.
Randy's rhyming.
He is a nobody.
Okay.
First game,
Fucking
first
nobody.
thing. Let me read you something about him on BGG.
All right,
You click on it.
I will.
Board game designer of Skate Summer.
Okay.
Randy enjoys the challenge of creative projects.
Okay.
He's worked as a mechanical engineer over a decade, designing commercial scale grow towers for vertical farmers.
What? Grow towers? That sounds cool.
For vertical farmers and vertical farming. I don't know what that means.
Vertical farming.
You farm upward instead of in the ground.
So that's cool.
I don't know.
He also loves theater.
Oh.
Spends years performing improv sketch comedy in New York.
What?
He has a
What?
full-length comedy show called Attention Span, was featured in the NYC Fringe Festival.
And he designs
Wow.
board games?
Whether it's a live audience or gaming with friends, Randy is drawn to the buzz of shared imagination.
Sounds
is
like
kind of
he's just one of those
emasculating me.
guys who is just good at everything.
Yeah.
He's a
I don't
Lexi.
like this. Natalie, you're not allowed to look at his
Like,
picture.
and then he just designed a
Oh, yeah.
board game, right?
Natalie,
'Cause
damn
you
it.
pull up stuff like Stefan Feld, right? He'll tell you about his board
What's
games
his
and
name
that kind of
again?
stuff.
Nothing. His
Randy
name's
Ryman.
Ugly McDouchebag.
Reiman. You want to know what it looks like? It's right here.
Okay.
Natalie said, okay.
She wants to bang him.
Oh.
Gosh
I
dang
don't.
it.
Randy, if you're listening,
You don't want to bang him? That's rude.
yeah, come on. Now we got to cut this part out. Randy's listening, and now we know
Poor
you
Randy.
don't want
You
to
don't
bang him.
wanna
Like,
bang
I want to bang
Randy?
Selena. How can you not want to bang this guy?
You want to bang Selena?
No, that's what you
You
said.
said
I
it.
heard
She
it.
said
I heard
it.
it.
She
I
said
heard
it.
it.
It's like you are like.
Got her.
Selena Gomes.
Okay, here we go. Skate Summer.
All right.
Goal is to be the best skateboarder. Okay, here's something that's going to be pretty evident. I don't know shit about skateboarding.
No, me neither.
So if
There's
there's
an
like
ollie. I know an ollie.
skateboarding terms, I'm not going to know them, and you could be like, well, it's
I know
called
a half
that.
pipe.
I don't care. Half pipe, that's a thing. Okay?
Isn't that's not a skateboarding trick? That's like actual.
That's like a thing.
Oh,
It's like a-
thing you
it's like a-
skate on.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
the thing you skate on.
Yeah.
Like you skate on the skateboard.
Get on the skateboard.
Yeah,
I know
skateboard could be in a half
skateboarding,
pipe.
shoes.
So you get
Vans.
points for doing sick tricks. I thought sick tricks might
Yep,
be a cool
that
skateboard
is
thing.
cool.
So there is a big board in the middle of hexes, of course, because every board has hexes.
Basically,
It's actually a hex board with hexes on the hex.
Is it really? The
It's
board
hexes
is
on
hex-shaped?
hexes on
Yeah.
hexes. Each hex has a bunch of icons on it. Again, cool graffiti art, which I really like. Players all have a player board,
Love it.
which is a skate player board.
Oh.
You like
Oh
that?
yeah, it
Yep.
looks like a skate.
See what I did there? It is, yes.
Skateboard, Natalie. He put
Player
player in between
skateboard.
skateboard. So skate player board.
Skate player board.
I still don't think
see.
she gets it.
I
Player
get
skate-
it.
So it's like a.
Should I say player
Right.
skateboard?
Hold
or
on. So like a
skate player
skateboard is it's got these wheels on it. Jeff's
Yeah.
saying that the
Ryan.
player board you're playing on is a skateboard. But
See
the way
it?
to say that, you wouldn't say a skateboard player board. You'd say a skate player board.
See what I did there?
I don't think she gets it.
Ryan James.
We'll be right back. We need to explain this.
We got to-
We're back. She gets it. So everybody begins the game with these trick cards. So the trick cards are one of three colors: blue, yellow, or red, and they each have the name on it. Okay,
Of the trick, you mean?
the trick.
Ollie. Ollie's a trick.
There's an ollie. There's like a backside something. They're
lazy-
all on there.
a lazy
It's
foot.
fun to read them and,
Lazy
and say like, "This is what I'm doing."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, I don't know what that trick looks like.
Okay.
But if you were a skater, you'd be like, "Yeah, that looks like this. What
Fuck
a cool
yeah.
trick!"
Yeah.
But
Making
I
an
don't know
ollie.
those things. And so the first thing you do, there's like phases in this game. There's a few phases. The first thing you do in this first phase is you're going to play a trick card to your player board, your skate player board, Natalie.
yeah.
She doesn't understand.
Okay. Everyone's doing this
I get it.
simultaneously. You're taking one card from your hand, you're playing it on the board, and it gives you rewards. Okay. And it also then shifts your balance. So if you play a card down and it's an ollie, it might give you one of these flame tokens, and then it also moves your balance 2 to the right. Okay. And then there's a little balance tracker.
Oh,
that
can you, like,
kind of move
fall?
this. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You can fall.
damn.
Okay. Once everybody plays one card, then dice are rolled. The first player, the first player rolls some dice, and that then changes your balance again. So that could move you back to the left. It could move you back to the right. So it's kind of like pressure luck for everybody.
Okay.
If you choose, you can keep going. You can keep playing cards and go, I'm going to play cards. So if you play cards to the left of that first card, that's going to shift your balance to the left. If you play cards to the right, it's going to shift it to the right, and then you roll dice again. So you collect rewards and roll dice.
Every time you play a card, you roll dice.
Yes. So you roll dice. The first time you roll 1 dice. The second time you roll 2 dice.
So is everybody
dice.
doing this at the same time?
Everyone's doing this at the same time.
So you can
play
like,
a card.
I'm going out.
And then everybody, you play a card, and then one person rolls the dice, and then move, and then you play another card, roll the dice, move.
Gotcha.
And then at some point you can say, I'm out. I've done all my tricks. I'm good. I'm staying. Because as you increase the number of dice, you could essentially, like, no matter where you are, if you roll it and there's 4 dice there and you move 4 to the left, you could fall, right? If you fall, you lose the trick that you just did. So imagine if you're doing like a combination of tricks and you fall on the last card, you lose that card because you didn't complete the trick. It's kind of the theme of it. You also lose some tokens that you collected that round, or you can just, again, you can keep going, right? If you don't fall, you can keep going, or you can choose to stop. And once you're done, so once everybody has completed all of their stuff, you get points for the cards that you played. So you have these little tracks on your player board. One's yellow, one's red, one's blue. You can move those up throughout the game through spending tokens. Then you get the points for what card you played. So if your blue tracker is on 3 and you played 3 blue cards, you get 9 points.
Oh.
Right? So you add those up. And then everybody is going to move then around the map in turn order. So the hex board. So once you do all your tricks, you then move around the board. You play the cards that you just played, like one at a time. And you spend those to move around the board to the matching icon. So I'm going to spend a blue card. I'm going to move to one of the blue spaces.
Got it.
Okay. In order to do that, like what you want to do is you're collecting these tokens. And the fun part of that is you want to get to the edge of the board because there are 6 spaces, because it spells skater.
Oh.
Each of the spaces is Skater.
That's 6. Yeah.
There are 6 spaces. And then once you get there, you unlock an ability on your player board. So the abilities are like, now instead of 5 cards, you get 7 cards.
Wow.
Or now instead of falling on the 4th move to the left
now you
on
can
your
suck
board,
dick.
you can suck some dick. And then
Like Ryan
it's
says.
good. If you suck dick, you get an extra space.
Oh, that's nice.
So
yeah.
Normally you would fall on the 4th balance track from left or right. But now if you remove one of those, if you get that power, you remove it, and now you fall on the 5th one. So you get a little extra room on either side.
Okay.
There are some more special cards you can get. You can double your rewards. There's all this kind of stuff that unlocks through these powers. You do that over and over and over again. So that's all the phases until someone reaches 70 points. You can also scale it. If you want to play a shorter game, you can play 50. I don't think I would ever imagine playing 50, or you can go up to 90 and play to 90. As soon as someone hits that, the game's over. You then add up total points at the end. You get points for collecting those different tokens, and that's it.
Okay.
Skate Summer.
What'd you think?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It's like a fun... I got into the game, right? I got into like playing this card and saying like, I'm doing an ollie twist backflip, hoo-ha.
Yeah.
Right? That was fun to do that. And then thinking about like flying around this map, because it's broken down into the theme, right? Into these different phases. But the theme is like you're playing this, and what's happening on the map is essentially you're doing the tricks around the city, right? Like I'm doing this yellow one,
and
which
it
is
feels
essentially
like that
a grind.
to you?
Kind of, you can. It could also be, you could feel like it's just separated.
Yeah, right.
But I tried to get into the mode of like, I'm doing the ollie twist over here. And then you could like get into it a little bit. I thought it was a cool experience. I don't know anything about skateboarding, but I still got into it. I think if you knew maybe a little bit more about the tricks, you might want to. Mm-hmm. There's also this cool thing. The center is called like Big Air. And if you ever get to the center space, you can roll this die, and it has like 2, 3, or 4 on it, and you can basically just shoot all the way across the map, which is kind of a cool thing you can do. So the elements I really liked, the pressure luck was fun. The pressure luck of, do I want to go again? Because a lot of times your goal is to basically get right back into the middle. Every time you play cards, you move one side, and hopefully it moves you back closer to the middle. You play another card. Right, you want to be in the middle. But as you start to add 2, 3, 4, 5 dice, you could fall at any time, no matter where you are on there. So you're like, okay, but if they just roll 1 blank, I'll be okay. Do I want to go 1 more because I want more tokens so I could collect more? Or
that's a cool thematic tie-in, right? Because the longer you're skating, the more tricks you're attempting, the higher the risk that you're gonna fall. So
and the dice add the element of like, because I could, if they didn't have the dice, I could just play all my cards and just figure out how to balance it. Right? The dice throws that element of shit,
randomness.
We could lose.
Be a rock in the road, and
there's also some incentive to passing or landing your trick first, because then you could move on the map first, or you could get a better reward if you want to.
Yeah.
So you could do that. And it wasn't overly punishing for falling. You lose 1 card and you lose some of your flame tokens.
Okay, I was going to ask you that. That's good.
It's not like
you don't feel like you're out of it
I'm
now.
completely out of it. But I'll get to something that did happen in the last game, which made me feel like that.
Okay.
The other really, really fun part was unlocking those abilities. Those abilities are cool. And it also, the action of unlocking the ability was fun. So your player board has all these spots on it that shows the different skater abilities. And so, for example, on your player board, it says like 7 cards. Like that's how many cards you can have. But you start by putting the 5 token on it. So then like now I have 5, but then when you go to the S, you take that off. And now it says 5. So even just the action of like, I go there, now this is how I'm going to remember that my power is there. I thought that was like a unique way of doing that.
That's cool.
And it was just fun to do that. What I would love to see is I would love to see some sort of like asymmetry to the game. I don't know how much more money or thing they're going to put into this Skate Summer, but some sort of like asymmetric skateboards would have been really cool.
Yes.
Like here is your skateboard that all has 6 different skater powers on them, or even like here's 3 of the same and 3 different. Something that would have been really awesome. Art and presentation was amazing. Theme was fun.
It looks so gorgeous.
Yeah. A couple things I didn't love is there could be, if you fall and you didn't get like 3, 4, like I fell once with 2 cards out. Joe and Dave both got like 4 cards out, 5 cards out, and then they were able to then spend their flame tokens to increase their tracks to then get more points like right away. And I felt like, just shit, I need them to fall in order for me to get back. And if they don't, I'm probably out of it.
Yeah, how am I supposed to catch up?
So like the set collecting is part of it. So that happened in my first game with me and Joe. Joe got out to a big lead. So I was like, I need to set collect. And I beat him in all the set collecting, and then I beat him by a couple points. I was like, okay.
Oh, cool.
So
even though you fell.
Even though I fell and I felt like I was behind during the game. He hit the 70 points first. I was probably 12 points back of him, but I got all the points in the set collecting. This game, Joe got out to a huge lead again, and Dave and I were basically splitting the set collecting. So that then took...
So then Joe won.
So then Joe won because he got out first. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen all the time, or Joe maybe just got lucky without falling, that kind of stuff. The other thing that was a little annoying was the setup and teardown is tough. There's a lot of little pieces, like you put everybody's player board down, you cover up these 6 different spots. There's then seeding the board with all the tokens that you have to go through. It's a little long for like the payout of the game in terms of weight, and but the fun was there. But yes, like all right, now we got to put these baggies in this thing. That was.
I'm finding that's a more value. That's a very valuable criticism for me. Hearing something like that, because that's a big deterrent for me personally. Right. Where I'm like, oh, man, the setup and teardown. That'll stop it from hitting the table more often.
And it's not to the point because it's a good time length. It's a 45, like we could play it in 45 minutes, an hour at the most. And you could also, if you want to scale it and make it longer, you play to 90 points, and that probably gets you 2-3 more rounds.
Yeah.
And then maybe the payoff is there of like, all right, we played for an hour. It takes 10 minutes to tear it down. But it felt like I was like, all right, put it out, because we ended the one game at 9 o'clock. I wanted to start this one. We didn't start until 9:15, and then I'm like, all right, now I got to pack it up afterwards. So that felt like pressure, a little bit annoying. But if that doesn't bother you, it's not a huge thing.
Yeah.
But overall, it's fun. I really liked it. I think it's going to hit the table more. It's just like, it's got a theme that I don't have, right? It's not building towers and
there are not many skateboard themed games.
Yeah, so that if you're looking for something,
I can only think of 12 off the top of my head, so it's not 12. Very many.
And then 4 of them are Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So that would also be if you're looking for a game that fits a different like niche or fits a different hobby, that would be cool to like have. So I'm going to keep this game because it's cool. But
plus, it's nice looking.
Seems cool.
It is really nice looking.
Yeah, I want to play it. I would love to try it at some point.
Yeah, so that is Skate Summer by Candasaurus and Natalie's new boyfriend, Randy.
Gosh
hey,
dang
Randy.
it. She doesn't even want to bang him. Oh, okay, so you're on the Randy train now?
You're banging Randy.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the fuck, Natalie?
Damn.
Jeez.
Well, you told me.
Leave
I
Randy.
should.
You're a married woman.
What about her
you can't
banging
win
Selena?
here. Yeah, you can't. That if you don't, you have to even it out.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
It makes it okay.
Yep.
If you're gonna sleep, with
both
Randy,
of them.
you got to do Selena Gomez.
Yeah, Selena Gomez.
I do or you do?
You do. Sorry about that. I know it's a bummer. Dang it!
It's just a lot of
Darn!
sex,
Dang!
you know, you just have to do
Gosh,
just want
man,
me to
thinking of
bang a bunch
Natalie
of other
with another
people?
woman. Ah, darn!
Nards.
Dang it! A long time ago, I was introduced to a worker placement game about Vikings called Raiders of the North Sea. The game had just released and had loads of buzz, so I was pretty excited to give it a try. The other worker placement Vikings game that came out that year, Champions of Midgard, I absolutely hated. So I was really hoping it would be different and better, and it wasn't. I might have hated it more. Now, there are always so many potential factors that go into why a game might not have hit for me right away. The teach may not have been good. My mood may have been off. The people may have been the worst. The game might have been the fucking irreparably shitty, and just because it was, and it wasn't at all anything that has to do with those other perfect and nothing's wrong about anything ever. The play took too long. It could have really been any number of things. But for whatever reason, I remember hating the game so much, in fact, that I never looked at any other of the games since.
Of the games.
Of the games. Okay. And that was the first. There have been many more of the games since, and every one of them has been vigorously slobbed all over by the collective fillators of the board game world.
Wow.
People fillate these games so hard, they're basically dehumidifiers. As the games are so dried out from being so ruthlessly filleted, there's no moisture left in the cardboard.
He's not wrong.
What?
People fillate the of the games, right?
Yes.
These damn of the games. Now, for the past 7 or so years, I've been able to stay away and just aggressively pleasure other things like Star Wars Destiny, Jeff, or Maria, or that war game named after Maria until our Discord server got to me. It finally got to me. The swoozles of the world have been at my throat about how I haven't tried any more of the games, and they're even upset that I hated Raiders. So I talked to some good, close friends who have never steered me wrong before, Mick, Dave, Mick, and Mr. Measles, and I said, boys, trusted advisors, you two have literally never led me astray. You've never let me down. Which of the game do I try first? If I have to try one, which one must I try? And they said, Ryan, dear friend, I won't lie to you. You're going to fucking love this game right here called Paladins of the West Kingdom. This is of the game for you. It's got Hadrian's Wally stuff about turning stuff into other stuff, and there's a lot happening on your own player board, which is sort of dynamic. And if you've ever trusted us, if you've ever believed in us, trust us now. This is where your journey should begin.
This is supposed to be
their words.
Yeah, that's it. This is supposed to be the more like solo experience.
Yes,
those
exactly.
Things, right?
Yeah.
We can't wait, they said, to hear how much you love this game. So I bought it. I bought it and its expansion, and even the big box to hold it all. I was so ready to fillet this game when it showed up.
Yep.
I was chewing gum, doing mouth exercises to drum up as much saliva as possible to make the experience a bit better for both of us. So I got it to the table, set it up. Here's how it plays. In Paladins of the West Kingdom, players are trying to earn the most points by the end of the 7th round. Each player has an individual player board and starts each round with 6 or more workers of varying colors. These workers are going to be placed on your player board to do various things, like collect money, or provision tiles, or place buildings onto other spaces to make them less expensive, or build outposts on the main board to get stuff, or build walls to get stuff, or commission monks to get stuff, or even confronting outsiders to either kill them off, or convert them to your crazy religious ways to get stuff, points, and stuff. Each round, a card is flipped on the central board that will firstly give you ways to score endgame victory points, and then eventually will be additional worker placement spots for you to use to get stuff. And I'm getting excited just even talking about this, as I was when I was reading the rules. I was like, man, this is going to be a game I love. It's got everything I love in it. I love going up tracks. I love dynamic player boards where you're removing things and then getting things for removing things. I love getting a bunch of workers and then turning them into more workers to get you other things. I love the idea of cards that give you a bit of roadmappy plan to shoot for, but aren't so necessary that you must or else you'll lose. I love the idea of getting different cards each round to be more worker placement spots to get done what you need to get done in a little bit of an easier way. All of that sounds so good. But before I get into my thoughts on this game, I want to do something unprecedented in Gamecasters history.
Whoa.
I want to start with Natalie's thoughts. I want to hear Natalie,
Did Natalie know this
be
was coming?
first in the door. She did. I want her emotional impact statement released first, as I think she has a bit more passion than I do about this one. So, Natalie,
I like
without
this.
further ado, tell us everything about your thoughts of Paladins of the West
The only thing
Kingdom.
that would have made this better is Natalie explaining the game.
I tried. Didn't.
That's okay.
She wouldn't do
All
it.
right.
She would not fucking do it.
This could be
And
setting a
And you
new
know what? She
precedent.
didn't do it because she didn't think she could. Tell us about your
Let's hear
thoughts.
Okay.
Oh boy, that's
Yeah.
it. And Ryan, what
All
do
right,
you
so
think?
here's what I thought. Things I like.
I don't feel quite as ragey as I did when I played this.
She was in,
boy.
as Cameron would say, she was in rage mode.
Ragey.
So my emotional side wants me to say that I hate this game.
The ragey part.
In the moment, I was
Okay.
like, I fucking hate this game. not even in the moment, in the game, I was saying that.
Many moments.
I've had some time to think about it.
Okay, are you getting to the why you fucking hate
Yes,
this game?
I will.
Okay.
I want you to first, before you say the why, say what you said during the game.
Okay. Here's a couple things I said.
No, oh, yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Well, okay. I guess when the game was not quite over, I said that I wanted to throw it on the floor and stomp on it.
Oh my god.
I might have said that.
No, you definitely said that with a lot more passion and fervor than you're saying now. Now you're
Yeah.
kind of like, yeah, you know. You
I
were
know.
like, I want to take this fucking game. She's like, I hate it so much. I want to throw it on the floor and stomp on it. I was like, that's really, wow. That's pretty visceral.
Yeah. Okay. My issues with this game. I constantly felt stymied. I agree. I thought it seemed like a game that we would like. You know, it's got like you get workers, kind of like Hadrian's Wall. It's worker placement-y. It has tracks and probably has like ways to like have cool combos and whatever.
Your favorite snack?
I felt like I was constantly stymied. Like everything I tried to do, I just couldn't. Oh, I know. I'll do that. I'll move up, or I'll like, do this action. Oh, I can't. I need this. Okay, well then I'll do this to get that. Oh no, I can't do that because I don't have this. And that's how like the entire game felt to me. And at the beginning, I was like, I get it. This is probably one of those games where, you kind of start out slow and then you build up, and then at the end, like Hadrian's Wall, you kind of can do a bunch of stuff. Well, there was like 7 rounds of this game. I felt in round 6 exactly like I felt in round 2. And I'm like, there's only one more round of this, and I'm still just stuck. And I feel like I never had what I needed to do the things that I wanted to do. Maybe that's my own fault. Maybe I just didn't get it. I mean, a lot of it, the stuff is random. Like the workers that you're getting each round, it just, I mean, I know you kind of get to like pick which one on the based on the cards.
Yeah, you're right though. You don't,
but
you get 2.
Right. You get 2, and then if, depending on the cards that come out, to get your other 4, is it? Mm-hmm. Those may or may not always work out for you. Another thing was like, I didn't find any of the stuff that we were doing like interesting. Like all of the track things, they were all the same.
Yep.
They just had different, requirements and different benefits. And then even the benefits a lot of the time weren't that good. Like one of the tracks, I think it was like the red one, I wanted to use it because like if I used one of those, I got a benefit from this card I had. Like every time you use that track or place a red building from that track, you get a coin or whatever. And so I was like, oh, I kind of want to use those. I don't think I used a single fucking one. And then on top of that, I didn't, because I didn't have the stuff to use it. And then on top of that, even the benefit of using the red one that you get in the game, that was like, I couldn't get that either, because in a 2-player game, there's like a lot more limited spaces. It was almost like this one area where if you place the red or the black, I think, you just like get to go on this board and like pick a free thing that's available. Well, we had already done that with the black tokens. And so like none of like the cheap ones were available, and so that's another thing that stopped me from the red one. So even when I could play the red one, when I had the requirements and stuff, then I still couldn't because I didn't have like
there's nowhere to place it.
Yeah, I don't know, it just felt like that constantly, and I was getting pissed off about it. And then it was very frustrating, and it was so frustrating that, again, maybe it was just me, maybe I just didn't understand this puzzle that there is for this game that you need to. It's very complex. You need to there's not a lot of wiggle room. There's not even a lot of times where like, well, if I can't do this, then I can do these 5 other things at least. Nope. It's really tight. And there was one point where I said, I was like, I have to sit and think about this. And a lot of times in games, I like that. I need to figure this out and figure out what I can even do. And I was like so annoyed and frustrated that I was like, it feels like work and I don't want to do it. And so I'm in this like this place in my head where I'm stuck because I'm like, I have to think this and figure this out, and I don't want to because it's not fun.
Yeah.
And so I was just like sitting there with like a blank like brain, and so it was just, I was just getting really mad during the game.
She was.
So, I mean, and then at the end of the day, like, those are the reasons I didn't like it. I didn't, I felt stymied. I felt like there wasn't. It was so weird. I read stuff that people say this is like a point salad game. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
I feel like that. Like at the end of the game, I was like, it wasn't even the end, but like, you know, maybe round 6, and I'm like looking at my stuff, and I'm like, what do I have, like 7 points?
Yeah.
Like, how is this a point salad game? You know, like I can't get anything off any of the tracks. Like nothing is working out. It's annoying. Salad. It's frustrating. I don't even want to do it. And then, you know, at the end of the day, I will say that I'm sure if this was like one of 20 games in our collection, and I wanted to try to figure it out, I don't know if every game is going to go like this. I understand that. But in our situation where we have all these games and a ton of games we play do hit on the first time, and I enjoy the first time, why the fuck would I ever go back to this?
Not just why the fuck?
Why would I?
I agree.
Right? Like, I'm not saying like if I went back to it, I wouldn't change my opinion a little bit, but why would I want to go back to it after a play like this?
Yeah.
And there's nothing interesting about it. You know, there's nothing new. There's nothing fun that I found, you know, that's like, well, maybe I can see, you know, no. We have a bunch of other games that I'd much rather play.
When you come down.
I think I'm done.
And this is like, she's at like a 2.
So why?
I know. I was like,
she was
why
at like
the
a
fuck
13.
would you reach for this game? Is now my follow-up is, does that also say why the fuck would you reach for any of the other of the games?
I mean,
like if you came down here and Ryan had set up Architects of the West Kingdom, would you be like, fuck? Like, would you already go into it pissed because first game?
I don't really know.
Good question.
I don't really know anything about the other games. I did play that. I think I played Raiders of the North Sea with you. Mm-hmm. It was a long time ago.
It was like 2015.
But
didn't they read?
Yeah, Raiders of Scythia is the new version,
and that's supposed to like have killed of the North Sea.
Although
right?
Raiders of the North Sea is in the top 100.
But I will say,
I know.
I don't really remember much about Raiders of the North Sea. I don't remember being like, I love this game or anything like that. But I don't remember like being like, I hate this. I never want to play this again. Yeah. I just remember being like, yeah, that's good.
If that was also in your early gaming experience, I feel like I was similar in my early.
I don't think it was.
Okay.
I think we played it here in this house. Mm-mm. We played something here when our table was over there.
Maybe it was.
I just
one
remember
of those
playing games early and just like kind of loving everything right away.
Yeah,
like, wow,
I agree.
all this stuff is so new and fresh and cool, and then you're like, okay, now I know some things, and fuck that game.
Yeah, for sure.
Fake theme, fake something.
Fuck you.
I don't know. I didn't enjoy it, and I don't really want to play it again. And I'm sorry for all the people who like it, but my opinion's my opinion.
We've
lost some people. Well, let me see if I can bring it back here. Things I liked about the game. On paper, I liked this game.
In the rule book paper made
it was like it was really good to feel my finger pads. I might have even loved this game. Reading the rule book was delightful. Setting the game up was exciting. The artwork is great. The Miko is extremely talented. Right? It's funny. It's a fun game to look at. Yeah. The components are also just really awesome. There's nice thick card stock for the player board. The wooden components are nice. The cards have some of the best shuffle of any cards in a game I've ever played.
What?
They shuffled so well. I was like, it was a perfect setup.
The shuffle.
Things I didn't like.
That's the
when you're listing things you like as the shuffle, you know there's some other things to say.
I'm honestly like, I don't even know what your thoughts are because I think I was just so enraged with my own thoughts.
You're about to hear them.
I don't even know what you're going to say.
This game is a fucking catfish. They pull you in with the shuffle and the Miko and the thickness of the player boards. This game should be called Catfish of the Gotcha Sucker.
Oh my god.
Natalie,
it's in the of the series.
Yeah, it's still in the of the series. Natalie hit the nail on the head. This game was clunky, frustrating, and hard in a way that I didn't really care for. It was like a 10,000 piece puzzle of the color white. Yeah, it's a puzzle, and putting it together would be hard, but it's not fun. Right? There's no payoff. You're done and you're like, I just spent 6 hours on this and it's just white canvas.
Right.
You're still doing a puzzle.
It's not like a beautiful
You're still like putting it together and it's hard.
Okay.
Like, where does this go? And it's hard. But you put it together and you're like, oh, that's okay.
Well, I guess I'll take it down.
All right. Yeah. Every turn felt like we were starting back at zero. There was little sense of feeling of progression and it just felt very hard to get anything going. It didn't feel smooth at all. And just felt like an exercise in frustration for the both of us. So many times we were like, what the fuck do people like about this game? It's the highest rated of the game.
Is it?
Yeah. And I'm questioning whether or not board games are for me after this play.
Oh my god.
I just don't understand. I don't get board games. Every single fucking person, Mick Dave Mick's like, it's in my top 5.
Everybody, yeah.
Everyone's like, that game is incredible. This game, to me, had no heart, no soul, no drive, no cadence, no crescendo. It wasn't interesting. A comment I found on Board Game Geek from a user said this, which I also really agreed with. Hopefully this doesn't. It said, a good worker placement game, but suffers from reverse engineering too much. And this is one of my biggest complaints about the game. I want to do the blue action. To do that, I need the green action. To get that, I need the red action. By the time you execute your plan to work on blue, you've forgotten why you were doing it, or missed out on why you wanted it in the first place.
Or even by the time you get to the end game, you're like, oh wait, I can't do any of that because I don't have this.
Well,
one
that's the thing. So
and
like,
it's like,
let's say,
and now you have to you spend all that mental energy on that, and you can't even do it, and now you're just like, I don't even want to start
let's say
over.
You knew you could do it. And you were like, I want to take this blue action. To do the blue action, I have to have my red track up so high. Okay, how do I get my red track up? Over here. But to get the red track up, I need to do the black action. And my black action is still too low. Oh, this one card I'm about to play bumps the black action up for me. Okay, so I can do the black action. Perfect. I take the black action. Ooh, taking the black action gets me this. And then, okay, so do I want to bump up the blue?
Yeah. And then you're like, you want to go back and do your
yeah, then you're like, what the hell? Well, or sometimes you're like, what the hell?
Yes.
What's my original plan?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah,
and it's just because you're reverse engineering so far to get you to the thing you need to do, because you don't know off the bat. Because it's like there's 3 tracks. Each one of these actions you take impacts a different track, and so you'll spend red to output blue. We'll say okay, and then you want to spend blue right to output black. So you have to do these other actions to up the tracks, but it's not getting you what you want yet, and it just
I'm trying to think of games that do that very well, but it's only. Like, that action is maybe 2 steps away.
Yeah.
Or there's a feeling of a
thing
race
is,
of
but
like...
that
people
exact
think that this is
whole
done
process,
very well.
Yeah.
That whole process is the exact reason why it's not smooth.
Yeah, right.
That's what makes it
not
feel
smooth because you have to go, I got to do this first before I can get the... It's not like Castle Burgundy where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
You honestly feel like you're
you do this
you're
and this
stuck
and
up
this,
against a wall.
and then you do it.
Every turn you're like, nope, can't do that. Got to go back.
Yeah.
Oh, no, can't do that. Got to go back. It's... for whatever reason, this missed for us. It went over our heads or something.
Wait, what? It missed?
We didn't find any part of it interesting or fun. Like I said, or like Natalie said, she wanted to throw it on the ground and stomp on it, which I think is so funny.
That's like,
I think it's like the funniest
that's
thing.
a beatdown comment.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
This I want to use this as
I should
firewood.
put that. I should make a review in BGG.
That's exactly what you should
I think I was like, if I could lift up this table, I would flip this table right now. Just like saying stuff.
She was, dude. She was, like she said, she didn't know my feelings because I was just like, should we should finish it, right? And she was like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, you don't want to feed the fire at that point.
Yeah, I was just like,
you may as well just feed the fire.
Well, there are some times where this happens on both ends where like I'm crushing it and I'm doing really well, and
and
she's
then I'm hating my
having
life.
a horrible time, and
Yeah.
so like I can't show her that I'm having fun.
What was the game we talked about last episode? That
Twilight Inscription?
Yeah.
It was like the opposite.
It was the
I
opposite.
liked it.
Did you whip him in that
Natalie-
game?
No,
we
I might have
tied.
won. Yeah, we tied.
Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah,
We
Natalie was
tied.
kind of having an okay time. And if you're having an okay time, the other person's not, you just kind of like sit by yourself.
Yeah,
Right,
like,
you're not gonna like be like, this is great.
Yeah. But this
sit
and
for
Twilight
yourself.
Inscription wasn't not fun because I did badly, because I had thought I won until you were like, oh, I get 2 points here and we tied now. So that wasn't the case for that game.
yeah.
Right.
And same with this. We weren't doing well. But it wasn't like I was whooping her, she was whooping
No.
me. That didn't
And
impact
that-
the game.
Yeah,
we were
it
just
wasn't a
both like,
points
what the
thing.
fuck? So here's the thing. I say this all the time, but the game may be great. And Natalie said this too. It may need another couple plays for us to unlock its mysteries, but we simply don't want to come back to it. There are games that, despite me having a bad play or a play that makes me feel stupid, I have a desire still to come back. Zolkin comes to mind. Coimbra comes to mind.
Yeah.
This one left us scratching our heads as to why anyone liked it. There are so many games that are more fun than this for us. I'm shocked it's the highest rated of these games. And honestly, it just cemented the fact that they're not for me. I was right. I feel like I was right.
You just gotta
You got
trust
it.
your
I
gut.
gotta trust it.
But
I
that's
gotta
the
trust
other
my
thing
gut.
is like,
Overall, nah.
I know. Nah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of other, like, even you just saying you want to play Bitoku again. I remember you texting me halfway through Bitoku and goes, what's going on?
Yep.
And then later you were like, it kind of felt like at the end you were closer to a point of, all right, I want to play this again.
I thought
for
that the
me-
whole time we played Paladins.
Yeah.
That was exactly what I thought of, Jeff. I was like, because we felt this way early. We were like, it's 3 turns in.
Like,
I'm
oh,
not.
boy.
I was like, are you having fun? And she was like, no. And I was like, I'm not either. And I thought in my head, I was like, all I'm remembering is Bitoku.
Yeah.
Bitoku, we made it
I thought that
to the
too.
halfway point, and we both were like, And then after the halfway point, we kept playing. We were like, oh, you know what? Okay, yeah. Oh,
Right,
yeah.
now things are starting to happen.
And that didn't
Yeah.
happen in this.
Yeah, that's
No,
where I have
it
a
didn't.
similar experience with Golem. When I played it, where I'm like, okay, what am I doing?
Yeah,
but
something's
again,
wrong.
that puzzle I would like to unlock. I would like to play that again. But we've all
Right.
played games you're like, fuck that game.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
the thing,
Puzzle,
because
I don't wanna try
it's
to do
so
that.
highly ranked and so many people like it. I feel like there's got to be some
Right, there's
puzzle that we're
there's
just
almost-
not seeing.
we missed something.
You know,
Something we missed. I would play it again. Natalie, won't.
I've only played Architects.
Okay,
I played
and we haven't
Architects of
played
the West
that.
Kingdom. I remember playing it with Joe. It was a long time ago. I would have to go back and really revisit it to have real thoughts on it. But I didn't remember hating Architects.
Sure.
But there's a lot more, I think, interactions of a kicking workers out on a board and
Yeah.
stuff like that. There's
Okay.
more of an interaction there than I think Paladins has always
I
been.
didn't
Right, which is
mind it.
probably
Like, I
why
was
they said
excited
we
that it
like
was
it.
multiplayer
Right,
solitaire.
right.
I was like
that's
really
probably why
pumped.
people recommended that one
Yeah.
to
to
you.
us, because we
Yeah.
like that and we don't like interaction.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so it's a bummer. I was
Yeah.
very I was more upset. Like, darn, I was really hoping and expecting.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you know what? I tried Raiders back when it first came out. I didn't love it, and that is the reason I haven't played any more of the games. And so I was like, everyone fucking loves
Stick with
it.
Circadians
Everyone,
if you wanna play,
yeah, Circadians and Hadrian's Wall. If I don't play Garfield
Yeah.
games, I was play those two.
Yeah.
So that is Paladins of the Kingdom. We did not love it. Sorry, Swoozle. Sorry, McDave Mix.
Swoos.
Sorry, everybody
The
else in the
Swoos.
Discord. On behalf of everyone, we
Yeah.
deeply apologize. Natalie's making the face right now. What else, Jeff? What else you got?
Okay, so I talked about the first game that was related to sort of a video game. Not related, but it made me
It's his
feel like
brother.
I was playing like a video game.
Yeah.
This next game is directly related to a video
Okay.
game. Okay. I've never played the video game before. Ryan has definitely played the video game before. Natalie has not played the video game
Nope.
before. This game is called Cuphead.
This game is called You Lose.
Cuphead, yeah, you lose. So what I've always heard about the video game, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is the art is super cool. It's like this 1940s art style. That is what attracts people to it
It's
immediately.
so
it has like a
awesome.
cute look of like you're literally a cup. Your head
Yeah.
is a
Yep.
cup, and it's a side scroller, like old school kind of looking game, and it's hard as fuck.
So hard.
That's like what I've learned about.
Unless
Cuphead.
you're Christopher Madigan.
Yeah, apparently,
it's like, you can't
Donkey
even beat
Kong's
the first
children
level.
are
Yep.
apparently very
They
good at
can-
these things.
Yeah.
So this game is Cuphead : the fast rolling dice game. Okay, it's published by the OP, which again, USopoly, the OP. I'm not
USAopoly.
sure the whole.
Yeah, are they not USAopoly anymore? Is
I've never even heard of that.
So USAopoly is a publisher, and they're
The
now
next game that
they
we're
now
talking about is from the same thing.
they now go by
really?
the op.
Yes, but you've played. I guarantee you've probably played a dozen of them.
Oh yeah, you played a ton of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we might have.
And
some.
so, yeah, so they got the IP for this Cuphead. That's what drew people in right away because Cuphead got blew up on the video game scene. And not for me because I don't play a ton of video games. But what's cool about this game, this is a cooperative game. You are fighting through baddies, boss baddies, minion baddies. You're fighting through them just like the game. And in order to replicate a side scroller, sort of, you are essentially fighting these baddie cards from left to right. That's kind of how they fit it into the Cuphead world. Each player assumes the role of one of the characters in the game. I think one of them is not a character in the video game, but they wanted to make it a 4-player game. Because I think Cuphead, Miss Cuphead, something, and there's an old man one.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But that's this. So then there's 8, I think it's 8 bosses. There's a bunch of decks of cards of bosses in the game as if like you were going through levels. And each of these cards that are in these decks of cards all have like die symbols on them. And I'm trying to explain this as good as possible so Natalie remembers the game that we played.
she's not gonna.
Okay? She's not going to.
I think she
remember
will.
it.
Some
I
thoughts,
I think
remember
she
it.
will. I think
so
she will.
everyone starts with your own character, which has a little bit of a power, and you also start with a set of dice with all of those symbols on it that match the cards. You then set a timer for 10, 15, or 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah,
Seconds.
that's
Not
right.
minutes,
No.
not a minute, not 2 minutes, which we're going to talk about in our game, where you get 2 whole minutes to do this.
Right.
10 fucking seconds.
10 seconds.
Or
nothing.
15 or 20 seconds, okay? And as soon as you hit that timer, you just start rolling, okay? You roll them, and you are assigning them these dice on those baddie cards from left to right as if you were traveling through a side-scrolling video game fighting those things.
Yep.
Okay? You are then also trying to assign these shoot icons, which looks like finger guns. Okay? So if you're playing with a kid, it looks like a finger gun. It's not like a real gun.
Yeah.
Not that we're a family-friendly show.
We're not worried about
You
that.
have a finger
But
gun.
you are.
Okay? That finger gun icon will hit the boss, which is cool. So you try to defeat the baddies along the way. You try to use the shoot icon to hit the main boss. And that's what you do basically over and over and over again until you die or you kill the boss.
No, until you die.
Until you die. Yeah. And And how you get hit is so let's say there's 4 cards come out. There might be 3 cards, there might be 5 cards. So there's 4 cards that come out that those are the baddies you have to fight. If you don't kill one of the baddies, if you don't match the icon on one of the baddies' cards, they hit you. Ping. You have 3 health.
Ouch.
So if you get hit 3 times throughout the game, you're dead. There are ways your partners can bring you back.
Oh yeah, right. You don't. Yeah. Natalie.
So we died, and Natalie thankfully saved our lives a couple times. You remember?
Yeah.
So there are ways that when you defeat one of these baddies, you get like a little token that could help save. That could help save you.
Yeah.
There's also these cool wallop cards, and these wallop cards can give you like wilds or kind of like a reroll. So stuff to hopefully mitigate the shenanigans of rolling in 20 fucking seconds.
Ugh, I wouldn't even do that.
All the bosses have, and we just played like through the first boss, the first scenario. All the bosses have different like kind of powers. They all have different icons. Like we didn't even, one of the icons on the dice, we didn't even know what that was for yet.
Right.
So that will come up in later experiences. Yeah. Once you finish one of the bosses, you can, there's like envelopes and different sort of things to open as it's similar to like it's a campaign. It's not like a legacy. You're not like physically changing anything. So it's more of a campaign. You can add cards to your ability. So instead of, this one dice, I think it's a black dice. And if you roll like your special power on that one, you get something bonus. So you can kind of buy stuff throughout the levels of fighting all the bad guys. And once it's done, you can go back and replay it if you want. You can just pick random levels, or you don't have to. But here's what I thought. This game is so simple. It's easy to teach. It's going to be easy to get out. There is a very, very little setup. You take one deck out of the box, you lay out the cards, you shuffle them up, and then everybody gets their own dice, and you can just go.
Yeah.
There is a campaign app that I thought companion app that worked fine. I don't know if you remember, there was like the music.
Yep.
It kind of it created sort of like a thematic and like stressful, like holy crap.
Oh yeah, you need that.
Oh my gosh,
you need
fun.
that.
Right? So it's a silly panic sort of fun. If you are someone who does not like having to decide things or
in a split
move
second,
quickly,
be quick,
not even decide quickly, move quickly.
Yeah.
This is not it. This is not your game.
Yeah.
Because I think did we do 15?
15.
We did 15 and we were probably like, damn, we should have done 20.
Yep.
Yeah.
We should have done 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? So we did 15 because we were like, well, we're not that good. But come on, babies.
We're
20
gamers.
second
We're
thing.
level 99.
So I would say if you play this game, don't do 10 seconds.
That's too quick.
15, okay. But if you want to play through the first thing at 20 and you feel like that's too long, then go back
This is
down.
a game where you should start easy.
At 20.
Once you should start.
Once you get a handle on that, then you can go down.
Yeah.
Things that I liked about it, if I liked a little bit of the silly panic. That was kind of fun. You get your heart rate up, and then you're like, okay, what'd I do?
Yeah, what happened?
I like that between these levels, you can kind of upgrade, and you feel like you're doing something different between the levels. That is something that I feel like is necessary for that game, so it doesn't feel exactly the same 8 times in a row as you're playing through the campaign. I like that there were ways to sort of help each other. That if I died, I wasn't just dead.
Yep.
It was like, okay, I know I'm going to die, but thankfully Natalie has one of these tokens that can bring me back to life.
Yep.
And those wallop cards are kind of cool. That provides like a wild dice roll or something like that to sort of help you get through it. Things I didn't like. There is 0, maybe, no, it's got to be 0. There is no decision space in this game.
Yeah.
There is also no time to make decisions.
Yeah,
in this
that's the
game.
problem. That's why.
It's not like
15 seconds.
So there's a game that we kind of compared it to when we played it, if you remember. You remember Escape?
Yep.
Natalie, did you ever play Escape?
Yeah, I played it.
Okay, Escape, it's a 10-minute timer.
Yep.
Right, and that's a longer game. But as you're playing Escape, you feel that frantic dice rolling, but there are more than one thing to do while you're moving around. Let me go over here and uncover this something, or let me move here
explore
and
this area.
Yes, I gotta how do you explore? You like treasure. You have to find these certain tiles, right? There's other things to do. This is so frantic that if you just see the symbol on the dice you roll, you have to put it there. Boom. So there's not a decision space, but it's just hectic, chaotic. That's the point of the game. I didn't love at the end when we were done, we like put in our score and it gave you like a rating system. I rarely like those in games.
Yeah,
I don't like
agreed.
to feel like, yes, we won, but we got a C-.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, right. We won.
We won.
Yeah,
You know,
we won.
I don't love that. And that our always example of that is Sherlock
Holmes,
where you feel like, hey, we did really good, but you suck ass compared to
Yeah, Sherlock
It's like,
got it in 3 moves.
I understand
You
that
took
they do
18.
that for you to try to go, well, beat your last score, beat your last
it's
score. But
try to get you
again,
to
I'm not going to
play
play
it
this game
again.
50 times.
This is a
Beat it.
pass-fail game.
Yeah, like I passed it, right? I also don't know, like, is 20 seconds net like Would the game be worse at 30 seconds? Maybe. Would it be too easy? So
Right,
maybe the
might
10,
be.
15, 20 seconds is totally necessary, but man, that went by fast.
Yeah.
Did.
So it's hectic. That kind of thing can be really, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's also super accessible for like families. Kids can play this game. You could also just make it 30 seconds. If you're
whatever
playing
the
with
fuck you
someone
want, it's your
who's
game.
7 years old,
Right.
like, all right, we're going to play this in,
They're
we're going to do this in
incapable of
1
being
minute.
quick.
I want you to roll, like, when you see this symbol, match it here, and that's what we're doing. So you could change it to fit that. But if you like if you like silly games, hectic, and you're not trying to make a lot of decisions, this is fun. If you are in panic mode all the time, just stay away
Yeah.
from this
If
one.
that's too stressful for you, then
Yeah.
maybe it's not
All right,
for
what do
you.
you guys think? We played it a few weeks ago.
Yep.
It's been a while, but
No, I remember. I have some good thoughts. So you listed these as negatives, and I agree with you. I also think I'm going to maybe put this under positive is not the way to put it, but I definitely think that the 10, 15, 20 thing is insane, and I think I like that about the game.
Yeah.
I think that's a positive for
It's
me.
on purpose.
I think,
Right.
like you
There's-
said, there is
might be necessary.
what I agree with you in your negatives was there's no decision space. That does kind of suck. And when you have a game that lasts 10 seconds per round, what
Yeah.
can you really do?
Yeah.
And that is the point of the game.
Right.
It's
Right.
You guys talk about it in what's that game that stresses me out that I can't play?
Skull King.
Skull King.
Oh,
The
yeah.
yo ho ho, and then you're
Yeah.
like 3.
yeah.
You purposefully don't want me to have time to think about that number.
Right.
And that's what this game is like.
Yeah.
This game is like that, where it's like, it's on purpose that you can't think too hard about where to place dice or when to use dice. You have to just look at your sheet and go, I need these ones. And then
Yeah.
as fast as you can to get there. And the game and the fun is when you're fucking up and you're rolling, a die rolls off the table, and then all time stops in your brain as you're like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
How
and
can
it's
I
like,
not roll this
Press
one
right
thing?
you're
2
taking
seconds.
80% of the time that you
Yeah.
need just to pick the die up from the floor, then to roll it. And that's fun. That's inherent, like, fun and frantic and stressful.
Yeah.
And it kind of mimics the video game, because the video game, you're just constantly, shit is flying at your face the whole level, and you're just trying so hard not to die unsuccessfully, unless you're Christopher Madigan, and you just are freaked out and panicked the whole game. And so this does simulate that freaked out panic thing. Now, it's what's that thing that everyone talks about? There's good, fast, and quick. You can
Yeah.
have 2 of those. You can never have all 3.
Right.
If you want something to be good and fast, wait, no, it's good.
Quick and fast are the same
Yeah,
thing.
I said it wrong. Good, fast, and expensive. Or cheap. That's what it is, cheap. If you want it to be good and fast, it's not going to be cheap. If you want it to be good and cheap, it's not going to be fast. If you want it to be fast and cheap, it's not going to be good. Right?
Sure.
This game is Natalie's not understanding.
No, I'm getting it, but I'm also like, I don't see why it can't be all 3.
It's just probably not going to be.
It's
all
like
3.
things are not usually going to
You're not
be.
gonna get
You're not
everything
going to
you
get something
want
that you're not
as
going to get
fast
something
as you
fast
want.
and cheap and good.
Okay.
Like you want your driveway done.
Yeah,
You can
can't-
hire the person that's going to do it tomorrow, but it might not be good.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be good because they're going to do it super
Oh,
fast.
I'm thinking
Or if you
more
want them
games.
to, if you want, oh my god, Natalie.
This is just life. Ryan was talking life.
Okay. Go ahead.
So if we correlate
I was
that
just
now
trying
back to
Process it.
do that in your own head next time. So if we do that,
I was, but then you were like, I made a face and you were like,
well, it looked like
I
your
don't think
face
she
was
gets
like,
it.
what is he even talking about? I'm going to feed you, baby bird. Don't worry. I'm going to bring it back around. Okay. So this game is very fast, right? And
Yes.
because it's so fast, it kind of loses that potential to be really good. Because nothing else can exist in that space.
Yeah.
It's just super,
Within
super, super
20,
quick.
yeah.
And so it can't be this like, wow, this game is really, really good. So it kind of limits itself to its potential of greatness, maybe, because it's just so absolutely frantic. But again, that's what you want in this game.
right.
So it's kind of in its own little box that it knows it's going to be into, and it's not going to ever break free from that. It just can't. It cannot, because you only have even 20 seconds, which is easy mode.
Yep, easy.
It's still so
right.
quick.
We have been talking for an hour and 22 minutes. Imagine having 20 of those seconds only, and that's the easy round. You know what I mean? It's like, it goes by. My point is, it goes by lickety fucking split. And so I think honestly because of that, I like the game.
Yeah.
I really liked
some of the negatives.
it.
I was like, okay, but I had fun while we were playing.
Yeah, I agree with you that they're negatives, but I also like. Despite that, I would happily play if you were like, hey, look, we have 45 seconds. Let's play 8 rounds of Cuphead. I'd be like that. You know what? Okay, I'm in for it because it's so easy and simple.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a good game. What do you think, Natalie?
Yeah, pretty similar to you guys. I thought it was fun. There's a lot of stuff that it has going for it that I like. I like the franticness in games, like rolling quick in a limited amount of time. It's kind of cooperative. It's fast. It's simple. All those things are good things about it, and it's fun. And like you said, it's definitely one of those games where if we pulled it out or if anybody wanted to play it, I'd totally be down playing it and be happy. But it's also not like so great that I'm like, let's go buy it,
Yeah,
but yeah,
totally.
Like I don't have to have it, but I will enjoy playing this game more. It's kind of in that category.
Yeah,
That's
That's Cuphead.
Cuphead, fast rolling dice game.
Fast rolling and very, 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 very,
Very,
very,
very
very,
fast.
very challenging.
They couldn't put so
Very
many varies
fast.
in there for fast and
Yeah,
challenging.
they didn't.
So they just wanted the fast.
They didn't have
rolling
enough
dice game. Yeah, they didn't have enough time.
One of the most anticipated games from Gen Con this year for Natalie was a game called Cryptid Urban Legend. But
Which they sold at GreenCon.
They did. Did you pick up a copy?
yeah, but another that caught her eye was a game about cleaning up an oil spill and helping the poor animals caught up in it. I'm talking about The Spill from Smirk and Dagger. In the spill, players are working together to try to contain an oil derrick spilling into the sea, while also trying to clean up the actual oil and save any marine animals unfortunate enough to become doused in the stuff. Each turn, players are going to drop some number of dice, which simulate the oil, into this rickety plastic tower, which will then distribute the cubes randomly into 4 quadrants of the board, which is the ocean. Players are sailing around the perimeter of the board to take actions, pandemic style, to contain the spillage. Each player has a certain number of action points they can spend on movement, clearing away oil, cleaning animals, pushing oil back into the derrick, removing it completely from the game, and so on. Each player also has a unique special ability that helps them break one of these actions to make it a little bit simpler. The game ends in a loss when either one of the 3 losing conditions are satisfied, or all of the dice are exhausted, and ends in a win if the players can satisfy all 3 of the winning conditions, which change each game. So things I liked about The Spill. I love cooperative games. Mostly all co-op games start in the positive for me. So all things being equal, games typically start at 0 for me when I play a game. Like, I'm like, all right, I'm not inherently loving it or hating it, right? But there are certain factors that will increase or decrease that rating before the game even begins. If the game's cooperative, for me, it gets like a 10-point bump.
Ooh.
Right? This is mostly
on a scale
arbitrary.
from something.
Yeah, I have no idea. These numbers are arbitrary.
Pretty
but that's
art
just kind of how
sometimes
it
gets me.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
like,
art will
look
get
at
me.
This card's pretty.
Yeah,
Plus-
like, wow,
plus
that's
2.
awesome.
2
Or
points.
a train theme will go negative.
Ooh, minus 2 points.
Right? I'm
You
like, oh, it's guys off.
Minus
yeah,
5.
I have no idea. It's minus 850 million
Yeah.
points. And so if a game like that, Jeff, will have to it will have to win me over.
Yes.
Right? A game that's cooperative will have to lose me over.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'm happy
One of the
about
games
that
comes to mind is like I'm looking at it too is like Obsession.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, this is a weird theme.
I don't
Negative
care about
2.
this. It's got to win me over.
Not beautiful.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right.
Minus 5.
Minus 5.
And then I start to play. I'm like, okay,
Oh, plus 17.
plus 100.
All right, I'm good. Yeah. I'm great. Yeah, exactly. But so you kind of feel that, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is going to have to win me over. And when it does, it feels awesome.
Yeah.
So in a cooperative game, it starts in the positive. I'm already excited about it. I'm more happy than I would be just playing any other game. Another 10 points were added because this was a game that Natalie wanted to play and researched and everything like that. So another 10 points to Gryffindor. The game was really cool thematically. I love the idea that we're all in the ocean trying hard to conserve and save everything and like that. Like very environmentally kind of friendly game. Even though it's about an oil spill. But you're trying to like clean up the oil spill, okay? Mm-hmm. As someone who doesn't really care that much about theme, it was a welcome surprise to me. It's pretty standard fare here, though. The game doesn't really do anything new in terms of mechanisms other than that dice tower oil derrick thing. Placing the dice into it to randomize where the oil was spilling out was a cool idea. I also like that the winning conditions are going to change every game. It reminded me a lot of the Palaces of Carrara in that way. The gameplay is the same every time you play it, but the way you win each game is going to vary, and that little tweak helps variability, which is really cool. The artwork is done by Kwanchai Moria, which is always amazing, so it's a fun game to even look at. You genuinely feel bad when one of the animals goes to sick bay.
Sick bay.
And they're just a token. They flip, which is funny. You feel bad. They flip over and get dirty, and if you don't clean them up in time, they essentially die. I mean, the game says they go to sick bay, but they're gonna die.
dead.
And that's one of your losing conditions.
Yeah, they're dead. You kill too many animals.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You let too many animals die from the
animals
oil.
die. Yeah, I
It's
guess
like when
you
you're
didn't kill them.
It's like when you're dead.
Well, we
yeah,
gotta
you
shoot 'em.
fucking-
Well, they're covered in oil. Gotta
But,
shoot them.
the game telling you they go to sick bay is like when one of your parents is like, "Oh, your cat went to the." We put them in a farm.
Oh, they're at a
it's
farm.
like a
And they're
farm.
running and
They're much
being happy.
happier.
When
Yeah.
really they just got strangled to death in the river or something
my
by the
God.
parents. Exactly. So things I didn't like. So the game's pretty ho hum. Honestly, I said before that it doesn't really do anything new, and that's a detriment to this game, as it feels as though you've played it before. With a game like Pandemic or Flashpoint, or any of these types of cooperative games, where you have like a certain number of action points to deal with a catastrophe, and each player has a certain player power that can, I'm this person that helps me, I get to move an extra space, or I get to clear away oil with one less point, or I get to warp anywhere I want to around the board. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I've seen that a million times.
Forbidden Desert.
Right, all those games do all
games,
right, exactly. Now, if you haven't ever played any of those types of games, you're not going to feel this way. But I'm not sure this is even a better option than those, to be honest with you. It's got ways to make it more variable, and I enjoy the theme more in this one, but it also instantly felt samey to me. We played it, and I was like, I've played this before. I wasn't excited really about it. It wasn't bad. It was not a bad game. Mm-hmm. Another negative I have is the cube tower. It's this rickety, flimsy, cheapo plastic thing that you put together, and I don't know if we just didn't spend enough time constructing it properly. But it was definitely askew, and it seemed to not distribute the dice randomly, which is really funny, though, because we actually tested it, because I kept saying that they wasn't distributing the dice randomly, and we took it off and put it back together and tested it, and then we dropped one die in for 4 different dice, and each die went into a different quadrant.
But that was only during the test.
That was only during the test.
And then the real game, it kept going to the same
They were only
one.
going 2 quadrants. So there was 2 that had no dice, and the other 2 had 1,000.
Right.
And so I'm like, something's wrong with this thing. It was this really weird constructed, rickety.
You had to
didn't
put it
fit.
together, and the pieces didn't fit properly.
It's supposed to look like an
inside.
oil rig. Is that the?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like an oil derrick,
Yeah.
exactly. Or like an oil rig, exactly. So it just kind of felt janky, and it could have been a skosh.
One skosh.
One skosh of
Maybe
higher
even-
quality.
Well, you
Two
haven't said that in a while.
skoshas. I think it could be 2 skoshas.
2 Scotias closer. to quality.
Overall, the
Scoshy.
game for me was good, not great. I'm happy we got the chance to play it, thanks to McDave Mick for teaching it to us, by the way. Did a great job. But I'm also happy we didn't buy it at either Gen Con or Grand Con, because they were selling it there too. I'm very happy we didn't buy it, as it would already be listed for sale or for giveaway.
Play before
Natalie,
you
what did you
buy.
think?
I had extremely similar thoughts to you.
Extremely similar.
It's unique and interesting.
Bandit.
Yeah, I thought
was the
it
last
was. I
episode.
thought it was good. It was okay. I was hoping for more.
Yeah,
I was kind of excited
me
about
too.
this game. I really like the theme. There's all these animals. You're trying to save them. It's really cute. There's a lot of little cute tokens with the cute animals, like sea animals on it and stuff. I was into this theme more than I usually am in games. But that was the best part of the game, unfortunately. It was good. There's
Yeah, right. I know. I agree with
good.
what you're saying. It
But
was
my
good.
issue with it is the same exact thing as you. It just felt like it would be the same the next time we played it. So we played it and we won. We beat it. It's a cooperative game, right? So we won. So that already kind of was slightly a knock against it, because I like when games are cooperative like that and you're trying to beat the game, for it to not be so simple. And then on top of that, we learned kind of, oh, I see. Next time if we played this, you would kind of go harder for this sooner than we did. Well, if we do that and we're even better than this game, then we're just going to win it again. So what's the fun in that? And also the things that you're doing aren't quite different and interesting enough for, like you said, it not to feel samey already so soon. And then again, the same thing. My other issue was the dice tower thing, and I don't know if that's normal for this game, if other people have said that too, but that was kind of annoying. It's like every time you put the dice in there, I'm like, well, it's going to go here or here.
Yep,
like
it did
my
every time.
quadrant that I was in never got dice. Like it had a dice roll through it like 1 or 2 times. So I'm like getting out of there,
Yeah, we were all able to focus on just 2 quadrants.
Right.
So that was probably why.
But
we won.
in general, like I will say, was in a cooperative game, it was kind of fun, trying to work together and figure out like where each of us should go to minimize the damage. Like, well, you're closer here and you have this many actions, so you should take care of this and then I'll take care of that. Like that stuff is just inherently fun in cooperative games. So like that was fun. It wasn't like a horrible game. It was good. It was more just like would I pick this over something else? Probably not. I'm kind of glad we didn't buy it, but I'm also glad we played it.
Yep. Totally.
That's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, it was average. Good, not great.
Yeah.
I think it's not something that I would play and be like, I'm never playing this again. But it's also not something I would play and be like, I want everybody to play this game.
Yeah.
I think people should play this. I think it's like, I would not recommend going out and buying it.
I was a little bummed
just
because I did like the theme a lot. So I was like, yes, a game where I'm like into the theme and it's cooperative and all this stuff.
Yeah, so it started
I was a little
plus
disappointed.
for you, right?
Yeah.
And that's
It lost
that
us over.
mentality that I think we all have, just as gamers, will make a game either worse or better than it actually is, right?
Right.
Because now you're
Now
more
we're disappointed.
You said it yesterday, or last episode yesterday. Yeah, we just record them back to back. Last episode that the fall was greater, right, for Twilight Inscription.
Yeah.
So the fall was greater for the spill. If you
Yes.
came in like, I don't
have
care about
expectations.
animals
What did
or
you
oil.
say?
Yeah.
And we used it's like you broke your leg instead of just scraping your knee or something.
Yeah,
fall
that's
was-
right. The fall was greater. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I started in the positive here, and I'm like, oh, dang it. Yeah, and it wasn't. I didn't not like it because of the cube tower. That like, if the cube tower was distributing things evenly and we had lost instead of won, that
Agreed.
is not the reason
That's
I didn't
not the
like the
whole-
game.
yeah.
I don't think I'd necessarily go looking for it again. Like, you know what? If we can get the cube tower right, let's play it again. I don't
No,
think
I
I
don't
would
think so
care.
either.
It just wasn't that interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Personally. What else you got, man?
I got one more game. Now,
Okay.
did you get a haircut?
I did.
Looks nice.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's right. You hadn't seen her since she got her haircut.
No.
She cut like.
A lot.
She was like, "Give me
Well, I
the
guess I saw
Ryan
you
James," and
yesterday.
they were like, "Oh, the Ryan
But-
James." So you want 4 inches cut off?
Oh, hey,
I probably had like this much cut off. How,
Yeah, it looks
how much
nice.
is that?
That's
5
like
inches?
Okay, that's more. Okay,
Ryan
that's
just pulled his
not me.
penis out, so we're measuring. it. Okay,
Two Ryan
we,
James lengths.
as we always talk about, we played a game right before the show. We played a game called Venn, Venn, as in like Venn diagram. Mm-hmm. So the game is just called Venn. Again, published by The Op, VOP, USAopoly,
Opoly.
one of those things. Maybe they'll listen to the show and they'll reach out and tell me
Like
what
never
happened
tell
to
us
all
that.
those things.
No, the
The original.
like Opoly.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of what it is. Oh, Natalie just said the original and then mouthed a word to Ryan.
What
Did
word
you
did
see
you-
it?
what word was it,
I
Natalie?
saw it. I'm gonna make
I
her
didn't
say
see
it.
it.
I saw
Yeah,
it.
what was the word?
It starts with a P.
Does
It's
it,
like bottom front.
Does it end with an eeple? Probably, right?
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
bottom.
bottom front. Natalie's bottom
it
front.
ends with a ussy.
Natalie's bottom front. What does it end with again, Natalie? What does it start and end with? Put it
What's in
together.
the middle?
Yeah, what's in the
What's in the middle of puh and ussy? Progressive C. I don't know. Man, what is it, Natalie?
So, published by the Op.
The original pussy.
Published by the original pussy. That's it. That's what it's published by. Boom, go buy it. What?
It's like
It's a
when
female
it was Cool
publisher.
Mini or Not, and they went to Come On. They were going
Yeah.
the other way. It was the Op. And pretty soon they're going to be
They're
like, you know what? Why don't we
extended
just
back
go to our actual name?
Yeah.
The original Pussy puts out this game then.
They're sitting in like a boardroom. Let's talk about rebranding.
Rebranding.
Let's rebrand.
Let's rebrand.
Okay, we need a new
The marketing
logo.
department
We need a
thinks.
new name.
Yeah, we need someone to, when they hear this name, they know the smell.
Yeah, that's
God.
right.
That's what we
You
need.
took it
That's
too
what we're
far.
looking for in our board gaming.
You know, people open up and like the new smell of games.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Now you're. This is what the original Pussy smelled like.
the OG.
Cardboard.
Oh
It
man.
attracts a lot of pervs.
Well,
What we are.
this is me discussing the last game I ever get from the OP. So the OP was nice enough, and the last game I'll ever get called Venn. Some companies have just stopped talking to me. No, I'm just kidding. So again, Venn is in Venn
yeah.
diagram. The goal of Venn is to get your teammates to guess 3 words. They're secret words, okay? This is a word guessing game. This word guessing game is also tied with picture interpretation.
Yeah.
That's the two kind of things that go together.
Yeah.
So word guessing games, if you're like, what the hell is that? Codenames is a word guessing game.
True.
Right? Decrypto, word guessing game. So this
Good
would
one.
kind of fall into those sort of categories. This game, we played cooperatively, so I'm going to talk about the cooperative game. I'll also mention how the competitive game is played, but we played it cooperatively. There are 3 big circles. They're on like see-through translucent.
Yeah.
Is it full translucent? What's like the in between translucent and? Isn't there something?
I think
that's
translucent
like,
is
translucent
what you
the-
want to say.
Okay.
I think.
They're in 3 colors. There's like a
You
pinkish.
can see
red
through
one.
them, but they're also at the same time
Opaque.
you can
Is that a
tell.
word?
it's-
Opaque is something.
Opaque means you can't see through it.
Oh, is that
Right?
right?
Like this.
I know
is
what you're
opaque.
talking about,
Yeah, there
but
isn't
I can't
something-
figure out
anyway.
that word.
So there's 3 big circles. There is a pink one, a yellow one, and a bluish one. And those are then laid on the table in a Venn diagram way. Okay? So the 3 circles are overlapping at one point. 2 circles are overlapping, and there's 6 spaces essentially.
Look up a Venn diagram if
Look
you
up
don't know
what
what
a
it
three-
is.
You
circle Venn
don't mean
diagram.
transparent, do you?
What's transparent is all the way through.
Yeah, transparent you can
Okay,
see through
so
it. Opaque you
translucent is
can't.
the-
And I think
okay.
yeah, that's what I mean. I
Maybe
think translucent
translucent
is what you
right?
want.
The scale
Okay.
is
Transparent is like it's glass.
transparent to opaque.
Or
is the scale.
my sexual desire is also transparent.
Got it.
And opaque is
So
you
they
can't
are
see through it.
translucent.
Yeah,
So
they're
that is the
I think
word.
I think you're right. I think they're translucent.
Yeah. They're kind of cool. They look like almost gigantic eyeglasses from like a 3D or like a
3D
movie.
glass,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So anyway, your goal is to guess these 3 words. There is this scale. There's 12 words that are laid out that these 3 words could be. So it's kind of like a multiple choice.
Yep.
Okay. In the cooperative mode, there is a timer set for 2 minutes. Okay. The person then looks at this card and tells them what their 3 words are. Okay. Each word would essentially be attributed to one of those circles. Make sense?
Yes.
The pink circle you could use as any of the 3 words. So let's say you use the pink circle as dangerous, and the blue circle is the word giant, and the last one is the word pink. Okay?
Right,
So
right.
it could be any of those things.
Right.
And then the overlap would then be cards that could be both of those. Make sense?
Yep.
Yep.
So like the dangerous giant could be a dangerous giant. Maybe it's a giant who's stepping on something.
Yep.
Right? Could be a dangerous giant. And there is then a massive stack of cards that all have real but strange images on them that are combined into a whole bunch of stuff. It is not fantastical like Dixit, but it is set in the real world, and there's a whole bunch
Like-
of crazy
like
crap.
pictures.
Like pictures. There's a whole bunch of crazy crap going on in these things. So as soon as the timer starts, whoever is the start player basically is cycling through these cards, trying to find cards that match the words and put them in the circles, either in their own circle or connecting 2 words or 2 circles together. You have 2 minutes to do this. It's frantic. And then at the end of 2 minutes and throughout the 2 minutes, the other people in the cooperative mode are talking about what it could be. Oh, Ryan put this here. There's a little chicken on it. Maybe it's the word little. Oh, but then he put a planet on this one. Maybe it can't be little anymore because the planet's on the one that's connecting it. So maybe it's just the color blue. Maybe it's that. Maybe
not. No,
and
it's
you
not.
just
Oh,
kind of
God.
go back and forth of like, what could it be? So as you're playing this, timer runs out, and then the other people make a guess. You can either earn 0, 1, 2, or 3 points, depending on how many words you guess right. In the cooperative game, you get 5 rounds to get 12 points. If you don't get 12 points, you lose, and you try again. The words, when we played it correctly, the words rotate every single round. So the 12 possible words that Ryan had are not the 12 possible words that everybody else has. So those cycle every single time. In a competitive game, you split into 2 teams. Think of Codenames. You split into 2 teams. There are then 2 sets of Venn diagrams, 2 sets of 3 words, and you are now competing against each other to guess more of your words right than the other teams. The timer is not there. You also split the cards up a little differently. And yes, that is Venn. The game is called Venn.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you play it competitively, then that opens it up to more player, like a higher player
Yeah.
count, because
You
then
could
you're
have like
on
5
teams.
on 5. Yep. And then you can rotate.
As long as
who's-
there's just like you split them up into teams, basically.
Yep. And then so if there was one
could
more
it be
person
like
here,
2 teams or 3 teams or like?
it has to be 2 teams.
Okay.
Because there's only 2 sets of the Venn
Okay,
diagrams.
got it.
And there's the way to stop the game, right, is if your team thinks you're going to guess it right, you say Venn and you stop. And then everybody has to stop. So it's not like you get all the time in the world to place all the perfect cards out.
Okay.
If a team thinks they're ready to guess, they can stop the game immediately. And then you play to 12. Or in these types of games, you just play until you're not having fun anymore, or you just kind of stop.
Right,
Like,
yeah, it's
oh,
usually
let's play
more for
again.
fun.
Let's rack it, right?
Yeah.
Let's switch teams up. Let's everybody play so they can do the card playing first. So I don't know where I heard this. I might be so wrong. Because now the more I look at it, I might be wrong. I thought this was the same designer as Hughes and Q's. I go on Board Game Geek. There is no designer listed. There's no designer listed on the box.
For Venn?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So double check this.
Shut
but
your ass.
So I checked 2 places. The box has no name on it other than the original Poussey. And
You're right. N.A. Artist. N.A.
So then I went to Hughes and Q's and was like,
Publisher,
maybe
the
I'll
op.
pull up the Hughes and Q's designer and see if it's on his like list of games, and it's not there. So I don't know what's happening there, and I don't know where I heard this or if I just made this shit up. Because Hughes and Q's is also made by the OP.
Yeah.
The op.
Weird.
Yep.
And
Weird that
for
there's
some
no
reason I
designer.
thought it was. I don't know where this came from. Maybe it was some video I watched or something I read somewhere, but whatever. So my first thought that I wrote on this paper about this game was this game is way fucking better than Hughes and Q's.
Yeah.
100,000%.
Totally agree.
I hated Hughes and Q's. You hated Hughes and Q's.
Right.
You hated Hughes and Q's.
Yeah.
I think Ben and M
Ben and M
hated
hated Hughes and Q's.
They
But
don't hate much.
I think we were in the minority for the most part when that game first came out. I'm not sure how it's held up over the year or so it's been out.
I still see people
But
playing it.
There's definitely people who like
People
it.
do like
Yeah.
it. So maybe, you know,
I mean,
I just
people are
didn't have
dumb.
fun of
People-
like,
I mean,
no,
you know.
I guess a Cheez-It is slightly more orange. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
than a
wasn't
goldfish.
fun.
Yeah, is it Cheez-It or
like,
Goldfish?
yeah.
I like this way better than I like the other one. Maybe because it was cooperative. I'm not sure. I thought this was hectic in a fun way. In the cooperative mode, you have 2 minutes to look through like what felt like a million fucking cards.
Right. It's a huge stack of cards that are double-sided with
Yeah.
a lot going on.
And I know, like, I have a word. So I had a word in my first round called, it was dull. D-U-L-L was my word, dull. And in my head, I'm like, I need to look for something that's dull, like
Right.
a pencil or like rounded scissors, dull.
Right,
And then I'm like,
personality.
and I'm just looking through these cards. And I'm like, nothing looks like dull. Nothing looks like dull. So how do I just throw something out there to get you to start guessing to then maybe put something out to change it?
yeah. Right. There's different
I did like that there was
strategies.
essentially multiple choice. Like you had 12 things that you could look at.
True.
If it wasn't just like,
anything.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
We're like,
I guess
what?
scissors.
I know.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous.
Scissor me timbers.
I like that the words changed every round.
Yeah.
So then you couldn't. We played our first 2 rounds. We played where we didn't change the cards, and Natalie then used something that we said in the previous round. So I like that rotates
That
out.
was
Right.
awesome.
Well done. I love talking through what it could be. I love the overthinking of the game. Even if we get it wrong, the process of overthinking is fun to me.
Yeah.
I also know that that's not fun to a lot of people. Picture interpretation games / hectic / word games are not fun for people. But for us, I felt like we got into it and it was fun. There's a review from Gabi about they played Rear Window and fucking hated it.
Did they really?
Oh,
Him,
really?
Charday, his family hated it.
Oh, I think I
okay?
saw that, yeah.
And I responded with, I don't think they had any fun like trying to figure out what was on the cards.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the thing I liked about it. I liked thinking about what was on the cards or why did he
I
play
agree.
that. So if you didn't like that card interpretation type of game, you're not going to like this also. But I had fun. I had fun playing this right before the show. What did you guys think?
Well, Venn, when you told me, Jeff, when you told me
Yeah.
that Venn may or may not have been designed by the same designer as Hughes and Q's, I was about -13.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe
You know,
not.
I was about -13. I have seen a lot of people on Instagram talk about Venn, and you always have to temper your expectations because everybody on Instagram loves everything. There's a lot of shilling going on. There's a lot of just people who are just like super excited about everything, and so it's easy to think everything you see is the greatest game that's ever been. That's just kind of how the Instagram community is. And this isn't a knock on the Instagram community. That's great, but that's a very true phenomenon that I've experienced personally, and so my expectations were tempered.
Yeah.
You know, you put it out, and I was excited to play it as well. When you were like, "You want to play Venn tomorrow before the show?" You asked me that yesterday. I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Like I really do. I wanted to see for myself, and it exceeded every expectation I had for it. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I knew it's a Venn diagram, so there's going to be some situation where I have
Right.
to
Overlapping
do an
and-
overlap Venn diagram. It exceeded my expectation. I love word games like this. I love games that have these picture cards where you have to kind of like get your teammates or your opponents to guess. I guess it's always your teammates to guess what word you're trying to get them to guess. It's really, really fun for me to do that. Codenames is one of the best games ever. Pictures is so great. Pictures isn't word game, but it's still art interpretation like Jeff was talking about. I really like that. And in this game, it was really, really fun. I found that it was very hard. So Jeff talked about you get to look at every single card in this time frame. In a cooperative game, you have 2 minutes, and you can look at every fucking card. And at
have the
first,
opportunity
when he
to.
said that rule, when he said that, I was like, I don't like that. I kind of don't like that. That kind of seems like they didn't didn't think about that long enough in my brain. That's what I was saying to myself, like, this just seems kind of lazy. Or
I like double check that in the rule book. I'm like, so do we get to look through?
Yeah,
everything?
that seems like too easy. It is not even close to being too easy. There's a stack of like 100 cards, maybe more, and they're all double sided. And so you have 2 minutes, and 2 minutes might as well be 15 seconds in a Cuphead.
Right, that's what it
because
feels
you're looking
like.
through these, rifling through these, trying to get these 3 words. At the same time, you're trying to not have them work for the other words that are on the board, which is impossible because all these cards have been probably tested with all of these words.
Right.
So there's like a way to interpret everything in every single one of them. But so you have to figure out the best one, and you have 2 minutes. You're racing against the clock, and you have to get 3 words, and you have to try to somehow Venn them together if you can. And so it is extremely challenging in a way that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the potential for, I'm going to get this. You put a card down and they're both like, oh, that's this. That feels great. It feels terrible when 2 seconds later you hear them go, maybe it's not that though. Maybe it's this. Oh yeah, it's this. And then you're like, no, you can't
back,
say
rewind.
shit. But again, that's the stuff. I love that about games like this. That's one of my favorite moments because you're in excruciating, like, please go back and fix what you're thinking and realize it's this. And sometimes they do, and it's awesome. And sometimes they don't, and it's like, fuck, but it's still fun. And when that happens, I'm like, okay, I could have done better. I want my turn to be. I want my turn right now. Things I didn't like we only played the cooperative version,
right?
Since the cooperative version has a timer of 2 minutes. You can barely get down 3 cards that work together, let alone I feel like you don't have enough time to then do the whole point of the game, which is the Venn diagramming part.
Yeah.
I don't know that any of us more than once the entire time, maybe it didn't even happen, actually put one that worked for all 3 words. And that's what you want to do in this game. It's a Venn diagram.
I did, but I
Right.
think I put it in the wrong spot.
So you want to find a situation where you can put 3 cards out there, and then you can put 4 more cards out. One to go in between these 2, one to go in between these. That's what you want to do. And I was like hoping so much that was going to happen. You don't have it. There's just not enough time.
Yeah.
There's not enough time because you have to rifle through this deck of 100 cards to try to find the perfect things that are going to work for these words, to get them to guess the 3 words that aren't the 7 other words. And then you have to find cards that are going to be able to link them together. And that's what I wanted to do. I was a little not frustrated. I was a little, what's the word? I guess frustrated, but I don't mean that in such like an angry way.
angry,
yeah.
I mean it more like
bummed.
damn it! Like all I wanted to do was make the perfect clues with using the Venn
Well,
diagram.
you're right. I
that
wonder-
I think in a competitive game you would, because you don't have a time limit.
Yeah, because you're kind of just waiting. You're almost seeing like
Your time limit
Is that group almost done? Like we might need to let's pick.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think in a competitive game, I could see more often
That stuff happening.
and that's what I missed in
That's a good
in the
point.
cooperative game. I really enjoyed the cooperative game because I love word games, I love photo association games, and I love games that are kind of on a timer that make you have to interpret what your friends are doing. I love all that.
Yeah.
So that was great. This specific game, I wish if you're playing this game cooperatively, I really wish that
I wonder if we did could I do 3
well, yeah,
3
so you can give
minutes
yourself
change
more
it too
time.
much?
Does that make it too easy? Because we almost won still.
Yeah, we got 11
we were
or 12.
extremely close. So I wonder if an entire extra minute, it gives you the opportunity to do that, but now it's too easy. I don't know. I'm not sure if the game was designed competitively
Well,
and they tacked on the
depends
cooperative
on the
modes.
words,
You can
too.
do expert mode, and I don't know how that changes the cooperative one, but the expert mode essentially for competitive says that in order for you to say Venn and stop the clock, all 6 spots need to be full.
Yeah.
Which would then create new thinking space, right?
Yeah.
So that
you
could be
have to fill
some way
that
to add
in.
it. Maybe you
Yeah.
do that in the competitive mode or in the cooperative mode, but how do you set a timer of limit instead of just I'm going to spend an hour cycling through these cards to get the perfect 7?
So I don't want to necessarily call that an absolute negative.
Yeah, but I wanted to. That was the fun
I was
part. Was trying
disappointed.
to-
I was
You were
like
excited
I
to
felt
try
like
that.
the game turned into we were just trying to lay 3 cards down to make that work, and we couldn't even really do that all the time.
Yeah.
So how are we going to have then enough time to even do the Venns, which is the fun, the really cool?
the name of the
that
game.
would be when you have a moment in Codenames where 2 cards are out there. One of them is Tower and one of them is Washer, and you give the clue Sears 2, and you see someone light up and they go, "Oh, Sears Tower,"
got it.
and you can buy a washing machine at Sears, and then they get it, and you feel like a fucking genius. And that's what I wanted. That I think that could happen in this game.
I could see that.
If if you have more time or
Yeah.
what, and that was taken away because of how fast it was. Overall, I liked it a lot. It exceeded my expectations kind of greatly, to the point where, like, if we didn't have to record the show, I'd have been like, let's try again. I want to beat this. Let's do it one more time. You know, it was really fun for me. I think we could use these cards in the game pictures if we ran out. They're almost exactly the same kind of stuff. Maybe there's a little too much going on in some of them.
Yeah.
But it was really, really cool. What do you think, Natalie?
I love this game too. I mean, I love Venn diagrams. I love word games. I love picture association games. This game was like right up my alley. I like the words vary in difficulty, and so like that makes it kind of different. So like my first round that I played, I had words like animal and grow, and those were very easy to find cards for because tons of cards had animals and tons of cards had like plants,
yeah.
you know. But then, you know, the next, like Jeff had one that was like dull, or I think the next round I had ones that were like a lot more difficult, like geometric, you know, and I'm like, I can't find any like anything that fits that. Or
but we said that though, for even how hard that word was, that word came.
Yeah,
almost
you actually got it. It was like adventure. There was another one. It was like hidden, you know. So it was like then it was more difficult, and I had to get more creative, you know, with it, and it wasn't so easy. So like that stuff can vary, which was I liked. You know, like you said, it kind of gives you the wavelength, code names, Dixit, like what's that, Detective Club vibes, which I like. All those games, you know, that kind of stuff is so fun for me. Yeah. And I think it's fun, super fun being the person placing the pictures, and it's super fun being the person guessing the word. So like it's not like, oh, I can't wait to get this part because this part's like lame, you know. It's just like fun the entire time, no matter what you're doing. Yeah, I had a great time. I would have played it again too.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, it'll hit the table a lot.
Yeah. So that's it, right? That's Venn. Good game. Venn. The original pussy. If you're looking to support the show, maybe consider flushing your money down the Gamecasters toilet by way of our Patreon page. There are 4 different tiers which will get you access to behind-the-scenes content, exclusive content, or content ahead of time. You will also get swag that nobody else has access to, and just the opportunity to help out and support a podcast which you sometimes listen to. We have amazing patrons. Thank you so much for your support, guys. If you'd like to donate to help us pay for things like hosting fees and that blank that Jeff's had his eye on, please head on over to patreon.com/The Gamecasters to help out. The Gamecasters Twitch account has relaunched, and we're live every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday night, streaming board game and video game content and having a blast talking to all of you. If you just simply can't get enough Gamecasters in your day, please consider heading on over to twitch.tv/Gamecasters and give us a follow and maybe a sub. I have the best time streaming for everyone, and it's just a super fun place to unwind after a long day and watch someone who is trash at games play games. Come hang out and engage with me in a way you never thought you had to before, but I'm sorry, you do. Twitch.tv/Gamecasters. Possibly the best way to interact with all of us, though, is via our Discord server. If you go to the Gamecasters Instagram page, you can check out our link tree in our bio to get access to our server. It's a great way to engage with all 3 of us on a daily basis, as well as meet a bunch of like-minded, awesome people. So check out our Discord server. It's now that time of the show where Jeff puts a quarter in the social media gumball machine, and out pops your answers in this episode's Instagram inbox.
And now it's time for the Instagram inbox with the Mad Board Gamer.
Well. I took an episode off last episode because you didn't want to tell me your secrets.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Fuck you and your secret-keeping abilities.
You sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Why don't people want to tell their deepest,
trustworthy.
darkest secrets to everybody?
Yeah, I'm so trustworthy. I don't want to do that. So, I'm back now with full force. We're talking about what advice would you give to new board gamers? People just joining the hobby. I don't know if I've done this question before, but we're doing it now. I don't keep track of what I've done. And this is what we're doing, and it's my segment. I can do what I want.
We can do what you want.
So, advice for new gamers. So
we might do this again next episode.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep doing it. What more advice do you have for new gamers? I'm going to keep going until the well is dry.
Yeah.
So, being in the hobby for a while, it's hard to kind of remember a decade plus ago when we first got in, what would we tell our younger selves, sort of? But if you're listening and you have a handful of games or you're trying to get into the hobby, this is some advice from some veterans.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
All right.
I can't wait.
Chris over on the Discord says, "Don't let a theme deter you from trying a new game." Right? Lots of different mechanisms to see what best fit you. So try a whole bunch of everything. Try a whole bunch of mechanisms. And then he said, "Don't tell me your secrets," which is bullshit.
He was one of the vocal ones. That was good.
May over on Instagram.
Is that Ameritrash Talk?
Ameritrash Talk, yep. I would tell them that having 5 games that you play thousands of times is just as good as having 200 games you only play once. Which is great. That's good.
Yeah.
You don't have to be this
Like me.
massive
It's your
collector
preference,
like
yeah.
myself
Yeah,
or Ryan who
right.
have a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
She said, pace yourself. Everyone you see with tons of games probably went through the same phase where they only had 5.
Very true.
And they also miss then playing those games.
Also,
Oh yeah.
very
Sometimes
true.
I
That
wish
is
we
like-
only had
So do I.
Spot on.
like half the games.
Me too.
And we could just play them over and over.
Yeah, like there's always that feeling of like, Ryan always says, "I'm getting rid of everything.
Yep.
I'm going to have
gone.
10 games."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
That's all we play.
All right,
Yeah.
I added 50 games. Like,
Yes, right. We had this giant pile of games that we were like going to purge, and we tried to like do an auction, and we got rid of a bunch, but there's still a bunch left. And then Jeff came over yesterday and sees another bench full of games that are all brand new,
That
and he's
are
like, "Oh, did you just get
replacing
rid of the ones and then replace them with these?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
It's a 3 in,
seems
3 out
that
situation.
happened."
It's a 5 in, 2 out
Yeah.
situation.
So those that theme will be kind of throughout a lot of these questions. I didn't like organize them by that because I want to give everybody their 2 seconds of limelight. Mick
Gamecasters
said,
fame.
"Don't get caught up in the feeling that you have to play the latest hotness.
Yeah,
It only leads you to getting too many games, which you'll miss out on some classics or some hidden gems if you only play the new stuff."
He's right. It's
Yeah.
so hard for me to do that, but he's right.
Yep.
It's hard for him to do that too. He's constantly backing shit on
Yeah,
Kickstarter.
right. He also said,
It's advice for himself too.
Yeah, it's good advice for himself.
He said, "You'll never be able to keep up with everything that comes out, of course, unless you're some sort of dork-ass reviewer."
Wait, hey!
Hey, is he talking about us?
Is that a shot?
I know.
Is that a not so thinly veiled criticism against his
Yeah.
favorite podcast?
Gabi over at the Board Game Snobs messaged me, and he had one that I didn't think about that I love as an answer. He says, "Don't buy games with future scenarios in mind because you'll never be able to break out of it." So, for example, buying games that, when this situation happens.
Oh, this is good
Yes.
for this, and then
Right.
that never happened.
It's also in the same way. I don't want to stop you while you're in a roll. I think the same exact advice is good for when you're looking to cull. If you're going to cull your collection, don't just
keep
keep
it,
a
because
game
what
because there
we
could be a
have-
perfect situation where we had 8 people and 10 hours to kill,
What if this
and we play
person
this.
comes over?
Yep, we've
Yeah,
had
and we
that
play
exact
this.
experience.
Yep.
Never got
So yeah,
played.
he clarifies, buy games that you and your group will play. He said he's bought so many games thinking that the family will get into it or that he'll bring people into the hobby with this game, and sometimes they just don't care.
Yep.
Right.
Most times.
Yeah.
So that's I think really great.
That's a good one.
Yes.
advice. There we have the Swooze, who hopefully is still listening
Swoozy.
after the review of Paladins.
Yeah,
of
don't
the
turn it
Hoo-Ha.
off.
So
He's-
Swooze will stay with us.
I think we're done for him. I don't think he wants anything to do
he
with
actually
this
was
now.
booking his ticket to come to Nerdfest, and now he's just
He's going. He might show up to
What have we
Nerdfest
done?
with 6 rolls of aluminum foil
just ready to
and
slice.
chasing
And then he'll
us.
pants
Yeah,
you.
just
He's
chasing
just
us.
dick slicing.
Yeah, he's, right. He's gonna pants us. And
Post-sex
slowly
wiener
play.
slicer.
Yeah. Ow!
So, Swoozle says, indulge in all the glory of the hobby. Don't let anyone tell you what to like or what to hate. Try as many different things as you can. It's okay to like lighter games.
Yes, good one.
You don't have to take the next step. You don't have to force yourself into
True.
playing deeper games. It's okay to just like light, fun
Yeah,
games
there's
like
so
that.
much out there. That
Yep.
There's plenty.
Yeah, you're not less of a gamer because you only play games from the original Pussy.
Yeah, right, of course. Then he says that one podcast that is front-loaded with kinked hoses, stomped waffles, poop cutlery, and delightful flatulent entertainment is actually pretty dope and has a decent source for fresh hatched board game enthusiasts.
Oh, yeah, you
wow.
can share that advice.
Thanks.
That's
Yeah,
fine. I like
put-
that.
put
advice.
that wherever you want.
Although, damn it, he wrote that before our Paladins
Before that,
segment.
so-
maybe we cut that out. So because he's going to retract all this.
Yep. Eason over on, I don't know where he messaged me, maybe the Discord, who knows. Eason said, Eason won a game, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
the
yeah,
he was the
meme
meme
Yeah,
winner.
he won first and second place in the
Yeah,
meme,
which is-
meme
Right.
competition.
Another reason to join the Discord because Ryan and I have too many games and we like giving them to
Yes,
you.
we have constant contests
Same thing
and
with the
constant
Facebook.
giveaways going on. Most of them are over on Discord. We sometimes
Yep.
do them on Instagram and on the show,
Yep.
but the majority of them, and you never know when they're going to fucking happen on Discord.
You might just get a message on Discord say, "Hey, I have too
win.
many games. I'm going to send you
Yeah,
something."
here you go. Here's a game.
Right.
Yeah, happens all the time.
So Eason's advice is have good company. Friends matter more than cardboard, which I think is great. Learn games ahead of time before bringing them to the table.
There you
That's
go.
a good advice.
Yeah.
Make a wish list. There are so many games out there, and it's easy to lose track of games you really want. Thought that was good. Start off with light games like Twilight Imperium. Great. That's what he says. And then don't reveal to your wife how much money you actually spent on the hobby.
That's number
That's
one.
smart.
Number
Well
one.
said.
Until she finds out,
Well said.
and then it's bad.
Matt Cousineau over on the Discord
Yo,
messaged
yo,
me and
yo, who's a no?
said, I wouldn't give advice. I don't talk to noobs.
Oh shit!
Ooh, he says, if you don't show up with $800 box of minis and aren't prepared to play a 72-hour marathon of TI4, get out of my
Are
face.
you a gamer?
Ha, just kidding. He says, here's my advice. Try lots of stuff. Different games, different genres, different complexities, different style. Just get into it. Come to the hobby with an
Just
open
do
mind.
it.
He said, I promise you'll find things that you love about the hobby, even that you didn't know existed. So maybe you I don't want to play cooperative games, and you try these things and you get into it. He says he hates cooperative games, but he says don't try cooperative games. They're stupid.
Can I talk to Matt about Matt Cousineau for a moment?
Sure.
Just a quick moment. I want to take an aside. Talk about our buddy Matt Cousineau. Matt is the designer of the game we reviewed on the podcast. Natalie and I played this on TTS. And It's coming to Kickstarter soon, called Kyperium.
I can't wait to give him my money.
Yeah, agreed. Same
And then
here.
be really disappointed in the timeline of when I won't get the game. No, just kidding.
Like every Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So they crossed a cool milestone. They had 500 people are interested.
Like
following
cool.
it,
Clicked,
right?
clicked on
Following,
the
yeah.
can't wait
notify
for the
me
link
kind of thing.
Yeah, not going to
Perfect.
pledge, but want to laugh in your
huge.
face, right?
Yeah.
So it's really big. But the reason I want to talk about Matt is because, and maybe I'm not supposed to say this. I don't even know. I'm going to do it. So if after that he listens, he's like, "Oh crap, I didn't want you to announce that." Well, tough shit. So there's this game that Jeff, Natalie, and I saw in a hotel room in its stages before it was created, called Soulforge Fusion.
Yeah.
Matt has reached out to me and let me know that he is going to be starting a podcast with a buddy of his, I think, all about Soulforge Fusion.
Oh, cool.
So specifically about this game, I don't know when it's going to happen. Honestly, he might be yelling into his, "No, how could you
changed
say
our
this?
mind.
Oh
We're
my
not
God,
doing
we're not doing this. I don't even know if it's happening." But I was really excited about this because I'm kind of excited about Soulforge Fusion.
Yeah.
I want to get into a game as well as I was into Star Wars Destiny. And as some of you may or may not know, Matt is another humongous Star Wars Destiny lover.
Yeah.
He was also on part of, I think he might have contributed to the Chance Cube. I can't remember. He did something podcast related with Star Wars Destiny.
Cool.
And oh, there it goes. Hit my
gone.
foot. Hit my foot. Yeah. And so I'm excited for him to, and myself, honestly, to listen to a podcast that he's going to be starting about Soulforge. It sounds really cool. So
Cool. That's cool.
just wanted
That's
to,
exciting.
real quick, as
I'll be into that.
you mention that. So
Maybe it'll make me want the game more.
yeah. So
I don't
all
usually
best
get into
of
those
luck
type of
to
games,
you,
but
Matt.
I'll listen.
Yeah, right, for sure.
All right, the Plurpster. He says that here's the 10 commandments of board games.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Number 1, don't buy the hype. Number 2,
Don't
if
even buy it.
possible, play before you buy.
Yeah.
Conventions, local
Yes,
meetups,
I like that
digital,
advice.
whatever. Number 3, there are no games that you need to play or need to have played.
That word doesn't exist in the board game hobby. There's no
Yeah.
need at all.
Other than essentials.
Right, you have
Yeah.
you need
Like,
those.
you need the
those.
essentials.
You need they're
but-
essential.
But yeah, where someone's like, "Oh, you haven't played this. You need to play
Right.
Catan. You need to play
Yeah.
Carcassonne."
I've
You
never
don't need
played
to
Catan.
You don't need to do anything. It's kind of what he's
No.
saying.
We were told we needed to play Paladins, and look where that got us.
Yep. Number 4, buying games doesn't buy you the time to play them. Well said.
Yeah,
Buying games
good
doesn't buy
point.
it. Number 5, your closest friends may have no interest in playing with you. So just know that.
That is a
Get new
huge
friends.
one.
Yep.
Get new friends. I don't think
Yeah.
that's the message he's going
Yeah.
for.
Just
now.
like, listen, this might be only your thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Objective game reviewers don't exist, so don't look for them. Which, okay. Fair.
I'm taking that as a shot. As
Yeah,
well.
I see it.
The fuck.
If
feel
you
I'm
check the
pretty
BGG rankings, note that there is a bias toward new games and heavier games. Can be. There is just a bias, period, right, on certain things. But there's also ways to, like, if you don't know the scale, how it like front loads a bunch of ratings and how it, if you do a lot of rating and you're a strategic
research.
gamer, like that ranks it in different categories, do your research a little bit more, but understand that those ratings aren't.
These are all good.
Right?
Yeah, these are all good.
Collecting games is different than playing games is number 8. Find out what makes you happy, or find what makes you happy.
That's just a general life advice one.
That's just like pretty good for just doing that. And then the screenshot that I took cut off number 10, so let me pull that up right now. And then I'll know what number 10
Slurpee's
is.
always got a lot of great
Play what makes
stuff.
you happy is number 10.
That's actually a more difficult one, or one that sounds obvious, but it's not as obvious as it sounds.
For some people.
If you're sitting in the 5 games, like 10 games category, and you're just playing games that you love, that's cool. But when you're like us and we're trying to like play all the hotness.
Right.
Yeah, well, I can see
you like
some,
playing the hotness, or you're looking for like that next big game that you're gonna love, and you have to go through a bunch of jumps to get there.
a more interpretive one. I'm taking it more like play what makes you happy. Don't necessarily be like, well, I know that my game group likes this game,
okay.
but I don't really like it. But I'll try to make them. I kind of take it like, you know what? Show up with Amerigo if that's your game. Play that game. That's the game that makes you happy. Show up with that, and then
Fuck
get some
their
people to play
feelings.
that. Fuck their feelings.
Yeah. Nestor said try before you buy. Good. That's a perfect one. Number 2, look for a gaming group or a place that hosts game nights. Playing with like-minded people is invigorating.
Yes.
So like that's
For
exciting.
sure.
Right.
You can also like meet people. If you go to somewhere, try to, we talked about this in one of our episodes about like anxiety, or maybe you did about like try to step outside once. It might lead to something really cool.
Absolutely.
When choosing
Like
a
a sex partner.
podcast, keep in mind that the Dice Tower is overrated. And the Gamecasters is not safe for work and shouldn't be heard around children. Hey, that's us.
We're proud of that.
We know. All right, these are my Instagram responses. Nuclear Knight says, don't give up. There's so many games you're bound to find and like one of them. The Gamecasters account said, run. Head first into the nearest store and buy it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how do you know it was Ryan? It was the Gamecasters account. I know it was me.
Who knows? More to play. Don't judge a game by its cover. Try everything once.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
get into that,
Some ugly ass covers for some good ass games.
The Guild of Merchant Explorers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is a perfect example. Brush Monkey, Ando.
What's up, Ando?
2 things. Congratulations
shirt.
on new baby and wonderful shirt.
Ando, your shirt
baby.
looks fucking amazing.
What
a
says
sexy-ass
enjoy yourself. Yeah, he has a son. His name's Oliver, I believe. If I'm wrong, just cut this out.
Congratulations.
Enjoy yourself and your company, and you don't need to buy every game. Those are his 2. I like the company one that comes up is like, yes, games are your hobby, but your hobby is playing games with people for the most part.
Yes, you don't need to buy everything is also one. It can feel like you do, especially when something's coming out and everyone's getting buzz. But that buzz, if you just give it a week or 2, will die down eventually. Right. And then if you haven't bought it, then you don't feel the same way you felt in that crazy swept up moment. It's easy to be like, I have to have Venn right now because everyone's going crazy over it, Yeah,
just wait, pause, and then you might be okay. Again, this is advice we say and not necessarily do all the time.
Right.
This account is in a different language, but is Simona liest und trinkt something. I'm just going to go with Simona.
This is their name?
This is their tag on Instagram. So Simona tells us, don't be afraid to try games that you may think are too difficult. Be curious about games, which I think is kind of cool. Like, just try things.
Right, buy curious.
Chris, the charity board gamer, says, enjoy the hobby at your own pace. Buy within your budget. Enjoy old games along with the new games.
You said pace. For some reason, I thought you were going to say risk. Enjoy games at your own risk.
Yeah, watch out. My wife, Mad-89, says it is okay to not know what's going on, have an open mind, and have fun.
You know what?
That's really good.
You know what? Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay. All right.
Devin,
you know something?
Devin,
All right.
are you listening?
Doodash.
Devin, you're in your car.
You're such a
Something's
gamer
going on.
that you
Doodash.
gave advice for news.
No, I'm going to go further than this.
Okay.
Doodash, IGGY. All right. Listen to me. That first thing that she just said, I think everybody needs to hear that. I think everybody that's playing games needs to hear that. Because,
Do you want me to say it again?
Yeah, say that very first thing she said.
It's okay to not know what's going on.
Stop there. That is such good advice that everybody needs because everybody feels this way. Everybody. I think that's one of the barriers for people playing games is they're worried about feeling stupid and not understanding.
Yeah.
And for her to say
It's okay.
it's okay. It is okay because you'll get it.
Hey, That happens to me still. Sometimes I'm like, I don't really get it. I'll just start playing and hopefully it clicks.
And you do. And every time it does.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be playing a game with somebody who's maybe not the greatest rules explainer. Or even if they are a good rules explainer and you're just zoning out for a half second, you're not gonna be like, hey, I zoned out for the last half minute. Yeah. So you're gonna just be like, and you don't know what's going on.
Right.
And it's okay because once you start playing, it'll be fine. And you can ask questions and then you'll get it back.
Yeah.
So if you have ever been like, these games are too intimidating, I'm nervous that I'm not going to understand, it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
That is great advice. Who was that again? Oh, yeah, Devin Duda.
The person I married. Just the love of my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
BW Wallace says, don't go overboard on crowdfunding projects. So not only just don't buy everything, be careful with Kickstarter, be careful with the new one, GameFound.
All right.
Let me introduce you on Instagram.
Sure.
Okay.
And that's not the advice. That is the name on Instagram.
I thought you were introducing Natalie right now.
I thought it was like a new person
Let
who
me
contributed.
introduce you _.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
New to the inbox,
Glad
I
you
believe.
clarified.
Figure out what type of games you like before really big purchases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe don't go bananas on...
Yeah, buying everything at the beginning can
hard.
feel amazing.
Yeah.
But then eventually, so like, it's like what I talk about on Kickstarter or even at Gen Con purchases. Usually like 2 or 3 out of 10 I'll keep.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, don't just buy everything.
Dog-powered vehicle says, fucking cool it.
Is he talking about the podcast?
Would be the situation of just like, all right, just take a step back.
Yeah.
You don't always need to be at the
Calm
forefront of
down.
everything all the time.
Yep.
Because the hobby
This is a good
fast
running
moving.
theme that I've noticed.
Rogue Trout Games, relax and have fun. Curtis Howland says, don't get super caught up in winning. Try and enjoy the experience of the game, not just the score.
We haven't heard that one yet.
That's a good one.
That's some really good advice. It's hard to do. A lot of people are just like, also like, fuck it, I want to win. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
win all the
Or
time.
But no,
they put winning as I look smart and losing as I look stupid.
That's more it right there. That's more right there. You feel like if you win, you're better.
Yeah.
If you lose, you're worse. Or you now think it goes back to Devin's thing about it's okay to not know what you're doing. It's also okay to lose. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to not play a game because you're afraid that you're going to look stupid by losing. Because every single person loses more than they win.
I don't think one time I've ever judged or felt judged for losing a game.
Like, oh man, yeah, because you're probably playing
It's
with
just like-
people, and other people have also lost.
Well, also
Right.
because people that are like that, they are just like you. They want to win too. So when they win, they're not like, how could you not beat me? They're more thinking like, oh my God, thank God I won. Oh my God, so I don't look stupid. You know, everyone's like, oh, I don't look stupid now. Oh, thank God.
For me, I'm
Yeah,
like,
and
oh,
don't
I
let
won a
winning-
game? What?
like-
That's great.
Yeah,
Don't
wow.
let you trying to win ruin the experience for everybody else too. Like if you're taking
Right.
too long, or
Yeah.
like enjoy the experience of it. Saves the J. Given the choice, always buy the bits. Buy the
that's good
upgrades.
advice.
Yeah. Or
There you go.
Right.
Just jumping in. Everyone's like, save money.
Right.
Fuck
No,
that.
get
Buy the upgrades.
everything
Get
you
it all.
need. You know, well, I mean, I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Look at the Quacks bits. I'm not going to play Quacks
Saves the
without those
J. It
bits.
says just spend it
Or
up. Do
Leon.
it. Yep. Here we go, Shelly. Connect with other gamers in your area. You get to try their games. They will teach you yours. You can just kind of be a community.
True.
And I think Shelly does this where she lives. She like runs kind of a board
Yeah,
game.
she
Sure
night
does.
at the-
She's
Yeah,
growing
like
it
a
out there.
brewery or
So
something.
yeah, if you're
She's growing the southwestern Michigan
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
if you're over on
gaming
the west
scene.
side of the state. Yeah.
Stevensville or something like
Puss
that.
in Box.
That's
says,
funny.
Ignore the BGG ranks.
That's a funny name.
Yeah, that's a good. I also think new to the inbox. Enjoy BG or ignore BGG. ranks. Enjoy them.
Enjoy those
Ooh,
rankings.
7.2. Wow, I love that. No, ignore them. So just ignore them. See if you like things. I've learned to go into the comments and read some things.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, people will post good and bad reviews in that, like the section at the bottom, the forum section.
There are good games ranked 3,000 plus.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to only play the games in the top 100
Right.
to find good games.
Oreos Our Life says, don't think, just do. That's the opposite
Yep.
things.
This isn't the sex inbox.
Yeah, Warrior Mama 2 boys, play the game more than once before you decide if you don't like it.
Sometimes.
I know.
Yes,
But-
I agree with that.
Yes,
I do
it's
agree
not
with
bad
that.
advice.
I do agree. I think it's great
think
advice.
it's
I just
really
think
good.
it's great advice. It's different for somebody who has a ton of games in their collection like us, who's also, this is for new people.
Yeah.
So if you've played a ton of games, you will more likely know what
Kind of
you do
know
and
a
what you
little
do not.
more.
But that is great advice for a
new
new
people,
gamer.
that's-
Yeah.
yeah, great.
Yeah.
This is in the same vein. Homemade soda. If you're not sure about a game, just try it. It takes time to know what you like and don't like.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Yep. We have enjoy what your game group plays. Played games are better than pipe dreams. Okay, so like your group has the game, play it and enjoy it. Instead of like, oh, I wish we would have played something else. The McMeeples, try before you buy. most content makes everything sound great.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that is like Instagram. When you go on things, everything seems it's great.
Yeah.
Try before you buy. That was Sam's advice. Michaela's advice from the McMeeples. Have an open mind. You never know that you'll love a game until you just play it.
Mm-hmm.
What if Michaela's advice was have sex with Sam?
Yeah.
And we know that
really
Sam
great.
actually did
It's
that.
really good.
Yeah, that we know
Sam
what I'm
did,
saying.
Yeah.
Janelle, embrace the joyous over-enthusiasm and probably don't go into debt over it. So just go into it,
Probably,
be
she
awesome.
says.
Probably
Maybe
won't.
though.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're really interested. Probably though, don't.
Janelle also said that Samurai Rebellion in the Fields is the best game ever made.
She didn't
So
say
base
that.
all further rankings thusly.
Oh,
This says
well,
right here.
Cameron knocked it off his
Yeah,
list.
so it's out. Cameron booted
Cameron
it.
disagrees.
Janelle for the win.
Elder Torin on Instagram. Dip your toe in. Don't go balls deep right away.
That's hard advice to follow. When
And
you
then
first
said-
get into the
You're
hobby,
new.
And then he
man.
said, or not, I'm not
Yeah.
your dad. Do what you want.
I'm not your dad.
well, when you're first into the hobby, all you want is everything.
want to.
Because you just like all the three of us, we know what's out there now.
Yeah.
We've
Yep.
played most of the backlog of. I mean, there's a million we haven't played, but we've played enough that we're not like, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that?
Right.
What's that? What's that? What's that? So it's like
We're more
when you're at the
picky about
beginning,
it.
Yeah.
you don't know.
What's that?
Yeah, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that?
Ant Schree. ANTSCHREE.
Wow, 6 people with those similar names.
Yeah, that's what all of them. All of them say, again, try before you buy, find out what you like and what you don't like before you go crazy. Cherry Pick Games says you're at the table because you want to build friendships, not the game itself. And then I'm going to run very quickly through the Facebook peeps
Okay.
who were nice enough to jump on there and answer these crazy
Nice.
questions. So, Ty, Ty, you got to reach out to me. T. Coleman. You got to tell me how to pronounce your name. TAH. Okay, let me know. I sent him Ulm, by the way. So I'm hoping he tries it out and plays it. He agrees with everybody. Try before you buy. Okay.
Yes.
Jim Gamer says this is a pretty simple hobby to get into, which also can bring a lot of joy. There aren't any mistakes that are irreversible in this hobby, which is kind of cool.
True.
Very
So I
easy
like
to
that a
get
lot.
into. That's a good point.
Peter says find a good game group and don't be the jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Cousineau again says be inviting and inclusive. Allow everyone at the table. Don't exclude people,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is wonderful. Brand Moldereres. Molder something.
Molder-
I'm not good at pronouncing last names. Get a second job. You'll need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then stay the hell away from Kickstarter. It is evil powers.
You know what? He's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For so long, I was able to withstand the mighty Kickstarter, and
Yep.
it finally got me.
Michael Vanoy says play to have fun, not to win. We love that advice.
Yes.
I feel like I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Michael.
Daniel Bundison says cut your large turds with a knife. And always get dual layer player boards.
You know
Oh,
what? I'm
that's
surprised we
great
haven't heard
advice.
more of that.
Yeah, you need.
I
you
agree
need
with that a lot. Yeah, if you can, you should.
Joe Frostad said avoid the temptations of buying every single game. Brian Lyles agrees with everybody. Play lots of games with varying mechanics to figure out what you like. Brian Stever says build your collection slowly.
Yeah.
My gosh, that's not it. Not what we did.
No.
Yeah, no,
You should,
no.
but no, we
Mel over there, our good friend Mel, says walk away now or your basement will look like mine. She says, all right, you're not walking away. Meeples are not food, Jen Madigan. So don't eat that.
She
Yeah.
accidentally ate a
Accidentally ate
meatball.
Yep.
Oh
Or
my
else she put it in her
gosh.
mouth.
Didn't she chomp it though? I think she tried to eat it and then
Was
was
it
like, "Oh, it's a
thought it was
meatball."
popcorn or something?
Yeah.
Cathal over on Gamecasters Facebook page also said basically just have fun with it, but in like 2-paragraph form, and then responded to Michael's thing and said, well, you said it better. I just said that. So I'm not even going to read your
not gonna read it?
paragraph
Yeah,
because you said that someone else said it better. So there you go. Jared says, don't feel like you need to own everything, of course. Matthias says, don't buy a crap ton of games with the same mechanic. So he's in that, what is it, Jones theory or something?
Yep.
He said he discovered too late that he basically had 30 copies of the exact same game.
Oh, jeez.
And Steven Raiola said, stop chasing the new hype. There's seriously nothing wrong with playing the same game every week, learning it. The chase isn't necessarily worth it all the time. But he said if I'd have told myself that, I'd be rich, and he's not.
Same here. I mean, it's
So,
just so it's
do
fun.
you.
The chase is really fun.
Yeah.
And so it is good. It's great advice to not do that because I can see somebody like Steven or us who look back and go, I kind of wish I had
Like, damn.
just done that because it's not as important as you think, but it's really fun at
Yeah.
the same time. So
It
that's
is.
hard advice. That's great advice and hard to follow at the same time.
So that's it. A little long-winded, but there you go.
Wow. I like it. I like that a lot. Thank you, everybody, for that inbox participation.
Inbox.
It's now time for Natalie to absolutely eviscerate a game in today's board game beatdown.
Today on Board Game Beatdown, I am kind of shaking it up a little bit.
Really?
So,
Whoa.
yes.
Already.
I kind of want to... Okay. Earlier in this episode, Ryan and I kind of beat down a game
Yeah, we kind of did, didn't we?
called Paladins of the West Kingdom.
Yeah.
While I don't want to just lift it up, I kind of want to do both. I want to lift it up and beat it down at the same time. For selfish reasons.
Okay.
So, one, I felt a little bad. Because everybody
really?
loves it.
Oh, because
Yeah.
you felt bad about them. I don't feel
But
bad.
also, I don't know. I was also curious. Because, I mean, we're recording the episode right now, so I can't just, like, ask people what they like about the game.
We'll be right back.
So I went on Board Game Geek, and I kind of have a whole range from 10s down to 1s and in between, and to see people's thoughts.
Okay, so we're like deep diving into other people's comments or thoughts on...
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are 6,000 comments on there.
Here we
We're
go.
going to start at number 1.
Yeah, I only have like 20. And first of all, I want to start out, I didn't really like put a lot of these in there, but like a lot of people, what they said about this game and what they liked about it is how good it plays solo, which doesn't really apply to me, so I kind of like ignored most of those, but you know, I don't know, maybe it's a more fun solo type game.
I can see this being fun solo.
Yeah, me too. Okay, anyways, so we're going to start at the top.
Okay.
The 10.
Like at the 10?
Somebody
saying?
rated this a 10.
Lots of people did.
Well,
Yeah.
lots of people did.
Okay,
This
for sure.
person.
This is very
person.
high.
Killgill 89.
Killgill.
Rated a 10. And this is their reason.
Doesn't like
I mean,
fish.
a 10? That's
What's your favorite
perfect
game?
Saying this is
One of their
game.
saying
games.
this is the game.
why do they think that?
Agreed.
My favorite game by Garfield Games, and easily one of my favorite games of all time. Pretty tricky to learn and quite fiddly at first, but my third playthrough I had it completely sussed and saw just how fantastic it is. I'd happily play it over most other games at any time.
So yeah, you guys have to play it 2 more times.
So that's
Sorry.
the thing.
Sorry.
You rated this a 10. You would probably play it over most other games at any time. And also,
Yeah, that does seem like a little bit of hyperbole.
yeah, but also like it kind of he kind of said
really
what I thought originally is like, okay, well maybe it takes a few times to like get it, and we only played it once.
But he didn't say why he liked it.
Yeah, he just said it was fiddly at first. Yeah, it wasn't that detailed of an
Okay.
explanation, but
Sure. Yeah, it's his comment.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not for us.
JC Cole, this
JC
person rated it an 8.0.
Been there.
And they said, rating after 1 play. Our 2-player game took over 3 hours, but it was enjoyable. The decisions were nice and tense, and everything is a push and pull. You want to max out one track, but to do so, you need to work on other tracks. Forces you to do a bit of everything, and you can never quite do all that you want.
Yep.
But still, you never feel totally stuck or lost. Games will likely be close, but it's utilizing every...
Come on, Natalie. Damn it, Natalie.
Come on.
It didn't... Oh, no! I couldn't see the rest of it.
We'll be right back.
you stupid bitch.
Stop sweating, you stupid bitch.
I shouldn't be doing this on my phone.
That's so funny.
This was a mistake.
You should be doing it on the podcast.
No, I should be doing it on the computer. Oh my goodness!
No, this is great. This
I
is
can't
great.
see
This is
it.
good.
This is good
content.
podcast content now. Where you're just actually sweating bullets. Like,
Well-
oh,
Yeah, oh no.
Okay, well,
Dead air.
I can't read the rest of their thing.
Well, it's probably dumb anyway. Let's
yeah,
move on.
stupid as
But
8.
that's like another thing.
Don't
Like,
play
okay,
any-
Yep.
that's what they think. But a lot of what they said, I didn't like that part of the game, or I disagree with. They played only once. They played it at 8 after 1 play, and they thought that they're like, you need to max out one track. I was like, how the fuck? I only got like 1
How
or
the
2 or
fuck?
3.
Why do you need to only max out one track?
It says you want to max out one track.
I don't get what that...
Because there's points at the end.
Yeah, but why do you just want to max out one track? Why don't you want to max out all
Maybe
the
you
tracks?
can't max out all the tracks.
He only played it once. He doesn't fucking know.
Idiot.
Stupid idiot.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's weird.
Toot Storm.
The Toot Storm.
That's better. a Toot Storm?
Toot
That's
Storm.
great. That's one of the best ones.
I'm not
yet.
sure you should have said that. I don't know if
Yeah.
you want to give Ryan any more nicknames for
Toot
you.
Storm. Yeah. Are you sure this
Good
isn't your alternate
point.
account,
Yeah, what
Natalie?
is
Good
this?
point. I think I didn't write it down. I think they rated it in the 8s. It's an incredibly clever mix of mechanics, and there's so much to try out tactics-wise. Okay, I get that.
I've seen a lot of people say that.
It reminds me a lot of Lost Ruins of Arnak in the way you maximize the small hand you're dealt, just much more interesting and dynamic, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't... I feel like it's so much more like tight, and there's less to do, and it's just not as flexible as like Arnak.
Right.
You know, but... Hey, that's what Tootstorm thinks. So
Fucking
what can I
Tootstorm.
say?
Oh, well, you gotta watch out. Tootstorm's coming.
That's a fucking
It's
storm.
cloudy with a chance of a Tootstorm coming in.
Storm.
It's 75 degrees and Tootstorm sounds like.
Let's see.
It's a severe warm front passing through.
Tower
the
of
southern
Cheesa,
hemisphere.
rated at a
That's funny.
9.5.
Tower of Cheesa.
That's funny.
Yeah, from the Goofy movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Leaning Tower of Cheesa.
They said chaining moves has never been easier. Time keeps it from a 10.
Okay, I disagree with that.
Yeah.
A lot of people have
It was
talked
not
about that
easy.
too.
Yeah, you said.
Action
Yeah.
chaining.
Other people have been like, it's so smooth. And I'm like, is it?
No. What's smooth about this game?
Right.
It's not. I mean, you can definitely do some action chaining, but it's not like Hadrian's Wall where that's all you're doing.
Right.
It's not like that. I wouldn't have played after we played this. I wouldn't have been like, man, the action chaining was awesome. I mean, it happened a couple times.
Yeah. Slacker King rated an 8. It's probably my favorite of the trilogy. It's super tight and thus initially frustrating until it all clicks, but then it's just a really engaging puzzle. It's my least favorite aesthetically, but it more than makes up for the uninspiring play area with crunchy decisions.
Don't those games all look the same?
Yeah.
First of all, now you put trilogy in there, and there's going to be
Exactly
more.
the
Now you're going to have to update your comment every single time you.
But like, I mean, it's super tight and initially frustrating. Yes, that was what happened to me.
Super tight, frustrating.
But that's the hard thing too, because like, okay, maybe that person felt that way the first game, yet they still wanted to come back to it, where I don't.
Yes, there was something missing with us where after we were playing it, we were like, the puzzle here isn't fun. It's I'm just it's
Right.
that it's
There
that-
are some
it's
games
that
where
we're
I'm like,
finishing
okay, I did a
puzzle
bad
of
job, but
pure white.
I'm excited to go back and try to figure it out. I wasn't like,
Yeah, I don't
excited.
care. I don't
Yeah.
want to.
I don't want to.
Fucking 6.
Gamer X11 rated a 7.4 says, I like this game a lot, and it is starting to click after the second game. At some points in this game, it can feel like you're not climbing much on the 3 tracks.
Yep.
But I think it will become easier with experience. 2 players felt like we both just did the same thing in order to maximize the King's Order points.
Yep.
Maybe an off game, but felt like you just do the same thing over and over to get the most amount of points.
Yeah,
I
I don't know
agree.
if I felt like you and me were doing exactly the same
I
thing.
don't think so either, but
But we were. I didn't feel that way, though.
But
well, the
just
cards you're picking.
another person saying
change it.
started to click after a second game. Like, it's like, does nobody play this game once and be like,
This was fun.
yeah.
I think they do. I think that's the problem. I think people probably felt like it was hard. I've heard a lot of people say like this
Yeah.
game is difficult.
Yeah.
And so we felt like it was hard. The difference is they felt like it was difficult and they enjoyed that. We
Right.
didn't.
Yeah.
We were like, this is hard in a way we don't like for
Right.
some reason.
Because, like, yeah, there are other games that are hard that we do like. So what was this? Yeah. This one, Rude.
Sex grunt.
Rude, ROOOD, rated
Okay.
a 7. A good worker placement, but suffers from reverse engineering too much.
Yeah, this is that comment.
Oh, it is? I
This
want
is
to do
that
the...
comment.
Oh, okay. Well, Ryan already read it. But yeah, it's the reverse
I
engineering
didn't put his
one.
name in there, but
It's rude.
That is rude.
rude.
You didn't put his
It's
name
fucking
in
rude.
there.
I should have put Rude's name
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah,
How
that's
rude.
Come on,
rude.
How RUDE of me.
That was 7. BGG Matt JE rated a 6.6. So now
Matt.
we're like in the middle area.
Yep.
Where people are like not loving it, but they don't like hate it
Yeah, I
enough to
don't
rate
hate
it
it.
like a
I don't
1
hate you
or
guys.
2 or 3 or 4. The second game in the West Kingdom trilogy is much more crunchy than its predecessor. There's a lot more going on. There are a lot of options and requires planning to make efficient plays. That's all true. And they rated it in the 6s.
Some people consider that, like, for me, that's a bad game. On board
Yeah.
game. If I'm rating it in the 6s, I'm
Like,
not
I'm
keeping
probably
it.
not going to be playing
Yeah, I'm not
that.
going to keep that game around. But Jeremy, the OG game, the original Pussy Gamecaster, he considers a 5 to be decent. That's good, not great. Is 5.
Yeah, if you really look
Yeah.
at the words that are associated with a 5, that's probably about.
if you're following
Yeah.
BGG's rating system, yeah.
Buckbag R rated a 6.3.
It's gonna be a buck bag.
Very different from the previous titles. A very good game, but will take longer than the others because of the choices and AP considerations. Don't get me wrong, this game is great. The choices are so many, and there's a ton going on, and will leave everyone thinking extra. A game can't be too bad if my only complaint is there is so much happening and so many choices. I disagree.
Like,
I
That's
know.
a real
I've heard
buck
that
bag.
a lot too.
Like,
Like,
what
there's
are the
so many things
choices?
to do. I'm like, really?
the
You
board,
only have like 6
there's
actions
like a few
you can
over
take.
here and a few over here, and
Yeah.
usually you can't do most of them. So like, what are
Right,
the
you only have a
choices?
couple things
That's
to
the-
do.
I don't get that.
Yeah, I'm the
Don't
same
talk
way
about this
people say
buck bag,
that.
okay?
Fucking, that's
Fucking
totally an
buck
insult,
bag.
isn't it?
Shut up, you buck bag. Shut your
like-
mouth, buck bag.
That sounds like an insult in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Look at this fucking buck bag
Look at
here.
this buck
Look at this
bag.
buck bag over here.
Now we're starting to get down to beat down territory.
Oh, boy.
Lieutenant says 4.
Spell this for me.
LUTENNANT.
Oh, I thought it was like LOU. Like
Yeah,
Lou
like
is his
Lou.
first
Mine's Lou.
name,
You
and he's a tenant.
Call me Mr. Tennant.
They rated it a 4. This game is a mediocre collection of mechanisms which were implemented better in other games. It's also a table hog and takes way too long for what it tries to do.
Here's the thing. Okay, we didn't talk about this actually
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
so
overview.
long.
You know what it reminds me of? It's kind of like Ark Nova. You know how Ark Nova has that board,
That
and you're like, what the
long-ass
fuck do I do
board?
with this board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same way. Paladins is the same way.
It's like
got
a
this
skinny
really
board,
it's a
but
skinny
it's
version of the Ark
so
Nova. It's like super
long.
long. And it's like, what the?
Yeah, we didn't
why?
know that.
Why? Make it more friendly to be at the table.
And it doesn't have to be like Ark Nova at least has to be like all in a row. This doesn't. This could be like 2 separate things like on top of each
Yeah,
other.
it could have been a normal sized board.
Right, because there's like some stuff over here that has nothing to do with the stuff over here.
Go, you fucking buck bag.
You look at this, you buck bag. Look at this buck bag in
Look
here.
at this buck bag walking around here. Thinks
Look at
he
this
owns the
fucking
place.
buck
You think you
bag.
own the place, buck bag? Get
I don't
out
think
of
so.
here.
No one likes that buck bag. You like apples?
Yeah, fuck you.
You're a
buck bag.
fucking buck bag. How you like them apples?
Ace Tile 1 rated at a 4 says plays exactly the same as Fields of Arle. Is that the intention? I
What?
played Fields of Arle, and I feel like
Arle.
Fields of Arle has so many more
Yeah,
options
Fields of
and
Arle's-
choices.
Yeah, agreed. Way more options.
Moramis rated at 3. And they just wrote in all caps, so long, so tracks.
So trash.
So trash.
That's really funny.
Joseph Sibley Bridges rated a 3. Good lord, this was 2 hours of trying to move some scales up based on some icons to get nearly nowhere. Even though I did nearly
Yeah.
nothing the whole game,
Yeah.
I barely lost to the person who had zillion actions by the end.
Yeah, so there was a turn I can remember, Natalie, where I did like a
Did a
shitload
few.
of stuff.
Yeah,
So maybe that happens more often. When people
right.
know what they're
That's
doing.
I mean, I can see people enjoying that if that happens.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen to me. Desert Witch rates it a 2. Why is this shit staying in the top 100? It's insane. I feel you, Desert
rhyme.
Witch. Wignut 338.
Wingnut?
Wingnut rated
Maybe
a
Red
2.
Wings fans.
Way too
Yeah.
much. Do you know what RNG is?
Yeah, it's like randomness.
Okay, way too much RNG for the game length and complexity. Oh, you want to build a fortification? Draw a random card with random rewards. Oh, you want to get workers? Choose from the randomly drawn cards with a random number of purple
This
workers
is
on them,
true.
and then draw a card with a random amount of gold in each purple worker you take. Draw 3 random paladins with a chance of blah,
Yes.
blah, you know,
That I
and
agree
so
with
on
that.
and so forth. Yeah, I agree with
In
that,
that
too.
fashion.
Yeah, and so on in that fashion. First the math teachers, then the scientists, and so on in that fashion.
And then the last one, CJE 1111, rated at a 1.
Shocking. Okay.
And said, this repugnant man-child art style brings out such strong feelings of disgust. I feel my stomach turning.
Yeah, okay, they don't like the art. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I think the art is cool.
Yeah.
But after reading through all these, like I said,
Doesn't change anything for me.
it doesn't change anything for me, but it also shows me like, okay, some of the stuff people like, I either didn't have that same experience or I just disagree with. And so it's just our opinion.
Yeah.
You know, or we have to play it more to get that puzzle that everybody, even a lot of the people who liked it said it took a few tries to get it, and we're just not willing or just don't
even
want to
fucking
do
buck bag
that.
Played it a couple
This
times.
fucking buck bag here.
Yeah.
Oh, look
A
at
couple
this
times.
fucking buck bag.
Oh heck, you got a buck bag over there?
Oh, no.
Oh, is that bag of all your bucks?
Oh,
in it?
darn.
You carried around along your back?
Oh, jeez.
Oh heck.
Oh, no.
Oh, your buck
Sorry,
bag.
Paladin.
In today's game of the episode, we are finally, and I mean
Oh,
finally,
man.
it's
Natalie.
going to happen. It's going to happen. Not with that attitude, Jeff. It's going to happen.
What's gonna happen? I mean,
It's gonna.
Natalie,
You know
how do you
what
not
he's
know the
talking
game
about?
we're playing?
It's
Stop.
Does she not know?
He does this every time we play the same game. He says we're gonna do it finally.
Oh, the quick one.
Yeah.
This is the game that we play when we don't know what other game to play, and it goes kind of like this. We are going to we're going to put 3 minutes on the clock.
Okay.
Either Jeff or Natalie, we're not sure which one yet, is going to give the other one 30 games, and they can say anything they want other than the name of the games to get them to guess it. They have to get through all 30 of these in 3 minutes' time. We've gotten so damn close before. Every time. We're like so close, it's not even funny. And we are going to hopefully make it. I think we are. I know what. I know we are.
We have it.
So what do you think, Jeff? Do you want to be the giver? Natalie's pooping right now, so you can. So you get to decide. You want to give her or the taker?
Or do you want me to give it?
Yeah.
I think last time I gave it.
I want to have Natalie give it this time.
Maybe Natalie's the
Maybe
giver
Natalie can give it
this time.
Yeah. Okay.
Natalie, we have decided that you are the giver.
You are the giver,
and I'm going to be the receiver.
Okay.
Can you, Natalie, pull? Actually, you know what? I'm going to do stop. Well, I have it on my computer. I'll do a stopwatch on the computer. Okay. Are we ready? You're going to give. So Natalie, there you go. Oh no. Here. Oh, there it is. Go away. Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
You got
boy.
30 games to give Joffrey.
Come on.
On your marks. Get set. Go.
This game we played at Grand Con about oils.
The spill.
Yep.
That was close.
Yeah.
The party game that Devin loves that you act out. Stuff.
Markers.
Yes. The one with the penis tower.
The penis tower.
Tekenu.
Yes. This has superheroes, and we paint a bunch of minis.
A Marvel United.
Yes. Blue.
Azul.
The lady that Ryan loves.
Maria.
Yeah. Okay, the party game with all like the words, but it's not it's not like the duet version. It's a different
Just
version.
Codenames?
Code.
Codenames pictures?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. A 2-player game that Ryan loves is like you're suffocating, or like you're not like you're like in an elevator and you feel
Claustrophobia.
BDSM.
Okay, this big game we played at one Nerd Fest that we'll probably never play again with like it had a weird name and we make fun of the name.
Sidereal Confluence.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay, there we go.
I can stop
Nope,
this.
I got it.
Okay.
The game that we just played and shit
1 minute.
on.
Paladins of the West Kingdom.
Yep. Ryan.
Too
Magnus.
That's not going to help him.
Chess.
Oh, it is going to help him. Okay, I wasn't sure if you knew.
Magnus.
Kind of like chess, but with the black and white little circles.
Shobu.
Nope.
Go.
Yes.
Could just said stop.
With the one with the princess, and she writes a
Love letter.
yes.
Quickly, Natalie.
The one we played at your mini Nerd Fest with in Nevada. What?
Lords of Vegas?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. This. God, how do I explain this?
Just pass.
Pass. The one with the little like red tokens, and I don't like this game, so I'm always like,
thanks.
yes. Okay. 2-player trick-taking game that Ryan doesn't like, and I like.
Forest
Yep.
Duet.
The one from Gen Con that I liked and Ryan didn't like, with the orange markers. And
Twilight Inscription.
Yep. Okay. This is a game for children, and it has dead people, and
That's good.
dead people
2 minutes.
for children.
Zombie kids.
Yes.
Zombie teens.
Yep.
Okay.
Zombie kids.
Dead people for children.
That's right.
The one with the polyomino pieces that like they're like 3D, chunky pieces.
Project L. Llama
It's
Land.
brand new. You use this to get in your door.
Lock and key.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the one with the food we ate for lunch yesterday.
Sushi Go.
Yep. And then the one with the hump animals, and then
Hump the animals.
to the sky.
Hump the animals. Whale up.
Desert.
What?
Desert animals with the humps.
Oh, camel up. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Just
30
straight up
seconds.
city name in Nevada.
Las Vegas.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. This little tiny game of it's like
20 seconds.
Okay, maybe not.
Not gonna
Nope.
Like your ring is made of this, maybe, or like it's like
Diamond something. Just keep
10
going.
seconds.
Okay, moving on. The one that we talked about today, but we didn't play. That's like really, really hard. It's based on a video game.
Cuphead.
Yes.
Time.
Oh man.
Close.
Well,
Always.
There's probably like
It
5
wasn't our
to
closest,
6.
but it was close. You only missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So
3.
the one that you didn't know how to give clues for was Hadara. You say 7 Wonders.
Oh.
Game like 7
Oh.
Wonders, right? Silver and Gold was a tricky one, I guess.
Yeah,
that was
Silver
the
and
one.
Gold.
That was the one where
I'd
she
be
was like,
Silver
Is that the
and
ring
Gold.
one? Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I was trying to think of
yep.
something.
And then what would you give him for the one after Cuphead? What would you say? Wait, try to get him to guess.
Oh,
See what you'd
okay.
say.
I'd say
You have to move the phone,
it's
or
like
else it's gonna go off.
it's in a mall, and it's cooperative in its time. You can't talk. You can't talk.
It's in a mall.
Yep.
Right? Isn't it? in
Yeah,
a
you're
mall?
right. It's in a mall.
It's in a mall.
You can't talk, and you have the passive aggressive marker.
Yep.
Oh, Magic Maze.
Yep.
Yeah. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, of course. There's only
Oh,
4 left.
Okay. The one that's shaped like a shamrock.
So Clover.
Yeah. Oh boy, the one with the bowls, and the least amount of bowls is it's like card. It's a card game,
Bowls.
and it has like little bowls as points, like
What?
BULL bull heads.
I thought you were saying bowls.
Oh.
I'm like,
Nimby.
what the
Yeah.
hell are you talking about?
Nimby.
Yes,
I'm like,
you're right. You're right. It is bowls.
I gotta go bowling.
The one where you play with your partners and you're building a.
Between two castles
Yes.
or cities. Okay.
And the last one.
What's the last one?
Oh, what do you mean? It's right there.
Oh my god! I thought that was the last
That's the one
one.
at the bottom. Left. The fight to the finish.
That's a good place to
That's a
end.
good place to end.
One of all of our top games.
Okay. Castles
Ravensburger. Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Okay, you know what I think we might do next time?
What?
And you guys can tell me what you think. Maybe we
sorry.
change this game to how fast can we get through them all?
Okay, and just try to break your record.
Or no? Or should we
Ooh, I don't
fuck
know.
that?
At some
You-
point we have to beat this stupid.
I know we got to
No.
beat it. I kind of feel that way too. We got to fucking win. All right, well, good try.
Okay.
It was a good try. You got pretty close. To end the show today, we are doing in honor of my birthday.
Yay.
We're honoring me.
Yes.
Me, and it was my
Honoring me.
idea.
My idea. I told them to honor me with this idea. We all made sculptures of Ryan.
Oh my god. Okay, so we are doing the top 5 games from BGG's 400.
Yes, because Ryan is now 4.
I'm 400
Top 5
years
games
old.
in the fours.
Yeah, top 5 games in the
400
fours.
to
So from
499.
400 to 499, which there's a shit ton of good games in
There's
here.
some very good games.
So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go Jeff, Natalie, me with this one. So Jeff, why don't you kick us off with your number 5 game that exists between 400 and 499? on
This
BGG?
game exists at number 469 as of today's recording. This
Okay.
game is called Freedom, the Underground Railroad.
Ooh, that's a good game.
Very, very cool cooperative game. Obviously a heavy theme to that game, but I think the game does a very good job of handling that theme.
Yep,
But it is
for sure.
it is a good cooperative experience playing that game. It works well, it's smooth, mechanics are good. Boom.
We haven't played that in a while. That's a
Freedom
great one.
Underground Railroad 469.
Good
Nice.
pick. Natalie, what about you? What was your number 5?
My number 5, and I actually wrote down the rankings.
I thought you were going to yell
Yeah.
at Jeff when he did that. I thought you were going to be like, God,
Oh my God, you
damn
didn't
it.
I didn't.
You
at
guys
first,
wrote down the
and
rankings.
then I was like, you know what? They're totally gonna write these down, and then I'm not, and then I'm gonna look silly, so I'm doing it.
We might
Yeah.
not. You don't know.
So my number 5 is at 490, and it's
Ooh,
called
490.
Bonanza.
Oh,
it.
The
That's
bean
an essential,
farming
would you say?
game.
Essential.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
Well,
it.
you're not going to say like what you like about Banana. I'm just kidding. Don't say shit. We know. Everyone knows.
Everyone
Ad
knows.
nauseam
I know.
about
I'm trying
Banana.
to do
Everybody
some games I
knows.
don't talk a ton about.
Yeah, I'm
'cause
gonna.
there's some games
right,
that
there's some heavy hitters in here. I'm gonna say some of the heavy hitters, but still,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
that's okay.
number 5 is a game for me that, as of the time of this recording, is number 400, and it's a game that I like it. I don't think Natalie likes it a ton, but it will stay around. It's survived in my collection for a long, long, long time, and it is called Biblios.
Yep.
It is a game that's one part like it's got like 2 parts to it. One hand you're going through selecting cards, and then you're going and playing the cards after that and like bidding on them and stuff. And it is a very, very fun little filler game, and I really like it. And it's number 5, and it's number 400. And it's because I'm just now in the 4s. That's also
Yep.
just in the 4s.
Just in the 4s.
Jeff, what about you? What's your number 4?
Early 4s. My number 4 in the 4s is a game at number 417, a new game called Furnace.
Yeah, I thought
It's
you
at
put that on
417. Furnace is a very cool game.
we
Cool
played that
engine
yet.
building, quick 40-minute game, something to knock out fast. I also have from Laserland Goodies. I have them, their printed upgrades, which are kind of cool. These, like,
Really? And you have the
3D
playmat too?
3D printed stuff, like the resources.
And you have the playmat, right?
And the playmat, which is awesome. Hoping for some, like, there is an expansion soon for like some new powers, some new buildings, that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. But
Nice.
yeah,
Awesome.
good game.
All right, Natalie, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Project L, ranked
Nice.
488.
Right.
This is
okay.
a game that it's pretty simple. It's quick. We love it. The kids even know how to play it and love it, and it's just something that we overall just like enjoy.
And it's in the 4s.
It's in the 4s.
Yeah.
What if we
It's
just
correct.
did a top 10 game in the 40s?
In the 40s.
And they were just
number
the 10
Yeah,
games.
40.
The 10
Yeah, we just read.
We
just
but
read
then we
the
rank them
games.
differently.
Yeah,
We
just
rank them
ranked
differently.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't played 8 of these.
Yeah. All right, number 4 for me is a game ranked 404, and this is a game that really, really was one that I played a lot with Natalie when she was first getting to the hobby. And it's a worker placement dice manipulation game called Kingsburg. And what? You're looking at me weird.
I have 404 as a different one.
That was 405.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so
maybe we must have
I made this
checked
early.
everything.
I made it
Something
early. So I made this. I made
I
this.
looked at mine about 2 days ago.
I made mine last night.
Yeah, I made it. Whatever the day that I mentioned it, what it was.
404
Because I
right
was like,
now
oh,
is
cool, he's not
wavelength.
going to say Kingsburg.
Oh, okay.
And then
Yeah.
you're like, Kingsburg.
Yeah, when I said that, neither of you reacted,
Yeah.
and you both were like, and I was like, wait a minute, what's happening? Do they not like this game?
Well, I was just anticipating you
love
saying
this.
wavelength,
Yeah.
and you were like,
Oh, okay.
dice worker placement. I'm like, nope, wrong.
Yeah, as of the time I made this list, 404 was Kingsburg.
Oh, that's funny.
And so hopefully it's on the list still. It probably just got bumped
Yeah,
one.
it's 405
One
Yeah, it's
down.
405.
Kingsburg's 405.
Yeah.
Got it.
Kingsburg's
Okay.
405.
Yes. And so anyway, so Kingsburg is the game that I'm talking about. It's a dice rolling worker placement game. I love dice worker placement games like Alien Frontiers and this one. And Natalie and I played this a lot when she was first getting into the
Yeah,
hobby.
I'd
and
say
we
it's
both
probably
really,
like one
really
of
enjoyed
the, maybe the second.
It was your favorite game for a long time. Mm-hmm. So that's my number 4. Jeff, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is at 415, and it's Skull King.
Oh man,
Oh,
skulking.
snap.
What fun silliness
Oh,
that
yeah,
was.
what's fun?
Yo ho
Stressful.
ho. I
2.
said the wrong number.
Yeah, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
game.
How am I supposed to
There
now
we
Yo,
can't,
take
ho, ho,
we can't fit that on the
I
box. Let's call it something
Yeah.
else.
How am I supposed to now take those tricks that I just said out loud to everyone and not look silly?
Yeah.
And what's cool about the game is you're usually pretty close. Even if you're like 4, you're like, all right, how can I now get 4? Because other people are trying to
Well, you
not
got
win
a
and
bunch
win
of
them.
cards, and
It's
yeah,
not like euchre where you just
Yeah.
want to win all of them
Right.
all
Right.
the time. This one you got to play. So I like that one. Skull King's really
yeah,
fun.
good one. All right, Natalie, what's your number 4? No, number 3.
My number 3, I'm not going to change it. It's Kingsburg. Because I love Kingsburg.
Well, it's also a different number than mine.
It's got like a special...
Mine's 404.
It's got a special place for me because it was one of the early ones, and I'd honestly think I'd still go back and play it. I know that it's we don't because we're kind of beyond it now and we've played it a bunch, but I still think it's a really good
You
game.
guys should give
We almost
the
played it
Kingsport
not long
Festival
ago.
a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
What is
Cthulhu
it?
one.
Yeah.
That was mine, and then I sold it to Bill.
Yeah.
or traded it to him.
It's almost the same game. There's a little bit more in Kingsburg, and maybe they changed it, where if you roll higher, you're inherently going to do better in Kingsburg. This this kind of stops that
Oh, okay.
from happening, which is a cool way to like. They had some negative, sort of like the whatever I'm trying to say.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. All right, number 3 for me is a game that, as of the time of when I did it, was 420, and it's Stefan Feldkondam's Amerigo.
It is
Yep.
still
Still
420.
420.
That one is still 420. Okay. Loved this game. We watched Measles and some people play it at Nerdfest this past year. And it was really fun to watch because he was like, I've played this so many times, I can't fucking win.
said,
And he ended
"I
up
can't."
winning.
Oh.
And I think he ended up winning, and it was like it made his day. It was so cool. So it's a fun game to watch, fun game to play. I really enjoyed that one. That's
That is
Amerigo. Jeff, what about you? What is number 2?
My number 2, again, in no like real order. 424 is Mystic Veil. Mystic Veil, I had a great first impression of that game. I loved it. Teardown sucks. But it is so cool. Card crafting, deck building, just a cool game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John
Mystic
D.
Veil.
Clare.
Yep.
Right. Natalie, what is number 2?
My number 2 is number 460. It's Wonderland's War.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. 460?
Yeah.
Holy crap. So I must have made this a day or two before you guys. It was 465.
Oh, really?
It's gone up 5
Whoa.
spots.
I
I mean, it's
haven't-
new.
Yeah.
It's new, so it would make sense that it climbs faster.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's another game we've talked about a bunch. We love this game.
Well, that was my number 2 as well, so I will swap out here, and
Nice.
I am going to say a game that, as of the time of this recording, was 459, and this was one of the only solo games that I had played for a long time. I loved it. It's called Friday by Friedemann Fries, who always has F in the word
Title.
of his in the English versions. He has F. And I really enjoyed this game a lot. It stuck around in the collection. If I don't play solo games very often at all,
But if I do.
but when I do, it'll be too many bones. But if I were to play 2, though, it'd be Cloud Spire. If I were to go 3, I'd probably get Under Falling Skies back from Dave and try
Sure,
that.
yep.
If I were to play 4, honestly, and this is the truth. If I were to play 4, I would probably go with Copperdale.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, Copperdale.
But if there was 5 games, Bandana might actually get it because that's got some really cool dice. But if I were to play 6, if I could have 6 solo games, and it'd be my
6 of
sixth
them.
solo game to play, Ark Nova definitely would get
Ark Nova.
the 6th spot
Yep.
for sure. Right. If I had 7. If it was only 7 solo games
just
to
This
play,
seven in the whole.
this is my
it would
life.
be Hoplomachus that's coming out soon.
Hoplomachus.
Victorum will probably
Yeah,
be the
so the new
7th
one.
one.
The new
Absolutely.
one.
So if there was 8, though,
Oh my
it
gosh.
might not be Friday. But it might.
But it might be.
So it's somewhere in the top 10-ish
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah.
And that's Friday by Friedemann Fries. That's my number 2. That was really actually number 8. Jeff, what is your number 1?
My number 1 is at 411 again, as of when I looked at it. Is Quadropolis.
I knew that was going to be on your list.
Quadropolis is great. It's a great
Yeah.
game. I think it's really underrated and has also
It's fun.
fallen into maybe what some of our advice was. It's a little older and I feel like it's overlooked a lot.
Yep.
But it's a
Yeah.
really solid tile placement sort of game where you're getting points based on where you put stuff.
For sure.
Bidding is so cool, and where you place and how you get your tiles is really cool.
Yeah, love that.
Number one, quad.
That's a great game. We haven't played that in a long time. Natalie, what is your number one?
My number one is ranked 468, and it's Hadara.
Wow, the game you just could not think of how to give Jeff a clue for.
You should have said it's ranked 468.
Yeah. No,
It's my number one game in the upcoming list.
I love this game. We played
you
it a few years ago, and then we bought it, and we just played it again recently with Cameron, and I loved
So
it just
much
as
fun.
much. I was like,
Yeah,
this is
cool
so
game.
great. We need to play this more.
Yeah. It kind of has that Guild of Merchant Explorers appeal where you just want to play it again.
Yeah.
Like right after it's
rack
over, it's
it.
like, let's just do it
Play it
again.
again.
It's
Right.
quick. It's really fun.
Right. It's one of those
And it's
cards
got
that
some
like
decisions.
it's got some decisions.
those
It's got
cards.
like that building engine kind of building thing, because like later on, like you have to like build
Yeah.
up these cards
Yeah,
to make it
definitely.
Things get
affordable later
cheaper.
on. But then if you like didn't build up this one color, then
That's
you're kind
super
of
expensive
screwed.
still. And you're like, no, I can't get that.
and but it's hard to do all of them. It's like it's a really fun
It's a good
game.
puzzle to
Yeah,
figure out.
good.
I like that a lot. That's a great choice. Number one for me is probably not going to be that surprising. It's a 2-player strategy game that I love that no one else loves as much as I do. And at the time of this ranking, it was 432, and it's chess.
I saw that. I was like, that'll be on Ryan's
Yeah,
list.
it's chess. I love chess a ton. I just play it on the computer nonstop. It's just so much fun to play.
Yep.
And that's my number one.
Yeah. Honorable ones?
Yeah, honorable mentions. I had Bonanza on my list. I had Project
Bonanza.
L.
Yeah, I had a lot of.
I had Hadara.
guesses, too.
Lords of Vegas. None of us said Lords
Yep.
of Vegas.
Oh,
Lords
wow.
of
Vegas
Vegas
was
was
someone
on
too,
there.
but Lords of
Yeah,
Vegas.
me too.
If I went favorites, that would be on there, but I wanted to highlight some games.
Yeah.
Right. I'm surprised you didn't say Love Letter, Natalie.
Yeah, I almost did, but same thing. I was kind of like, I talk about it all the time, but that's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely
Yeah.
up there.
What about you, Jeff? What do you got?
Smartphone Inc. is at 401.
Everyone's been talking about this
I like
game
that one a lot.
lately. Yeah.
I haven't played it.
Wavelength is at 404.
Dave Length.
Dave Length. Charterstone, 412.
Right. we
Again,
haven't played
this is
that.
changing.
Yeah.
Amerigo, Mystic Vale. Pipeline is actually in the 400s, which is a great game.
Okay.
I had Hadara. No Thanks is at 472, the game Natalie hates.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
Euphoria
she
is at
does.
492.
Yeah, I had Euphoria.
forgot about
Besides what you
Euphoria.
guys said already, I also had Euphoria and Fox in the Forest.
Oh, yeah.
Nah. So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts service the podcast. We also have a Facebook group. Just search Gamecasters and you'll find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. If you like the show, we'd love it if you consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen that allows you to rate us. We've also got a Patreon. If you want to support the show, feel free to head on over to patreon.com/thegamecasters. There's also a merch store where you can find all sorts of different Gamecasters, Mad Board Gamer, Gateway gear. So head on over to thegatewaynetwork.com/store. Please follow me and consider subscribing on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamecasters. So for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I'm Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody. Natalie, hello.
I don't
Why is she being so rude?
I don't understand.
Why is she being so ROOD?
The toot storm just came through, I think. Watch out, the toot storm. Oh, it's really windy out
There's
here.
a lot.
The branches are blowing everywhere out
The
here.
brown rain is hitting me in the
I'm
face.
just happy. You should be happy you're in the studio, safe and sound, because this toot storm is picking up out here.
Well,
It
thank
is
you, Jeff.
picking
That
up.
sounds absolutely... Oh, I hear the door open.
Oh, come back downstairs.
Yeah.
And here we go. The toot storm has arrived. All right, Natalie, you are here.